Time for qualifying for the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. The Pace-O-Matic Pole Award up for grabs today. First car on the racetrack in the number 01 out of Coram, New York. And last option, Bed Family First Blast Off. Go to Robbie.com, UkraineCar.org. It is Brian Weber. Brian Weber making his first start with the Smart Modified Tour this year. A full-time competitor 1 season ago in that 01, doing double duty today, and he's got all sorts of fluid, it looks like, on the right rear of that race car, so trouble for Brian Weber right off the bat here during Pace-O-Matic Pole Award qualifying. 15.759 first lap. That smoke did look blue. I'm sure officials going to take a look at this racetrack to see if any fluid has been put down around Hickory Motor Speedway. Brian Weber just qualified his Carolina Crate Modified just moments ago here at the birthplace of NASCAR stars. Love coming here to Hickory Motor Speedway. Love it because my family has a lot of history here. Nice to have my brother Matthew with us here today. My daughter Megan, years ago, won a race here as one of only a handful of female race car drivers to have ever graced victory lane at Hickory Motor Speedway. And today, 23 modifieds for the Smart Modified Tour, ready to do battle in the Hickory 100, presented by Dale Earnhardt Chevrolet. While officials take a look at this racetrack, let's update you on a couple of different things here. We mentioned Carson Lofton in that red 23, the point leader coming into race number 6, second place in points. He too out of North Carolina. Luke Baldwin in the Pace-O-Matic 7 VA, third place in points. 37 markers back, the man that was fastest in practice today in the Coulter Motorsports. Shitty Coolers number 2, Ryan Newman, former Daytona 500 winner. Burt Myers, last year's champion, 4th in points in the Citrus Safe Grill Cleaners Peanut Patch number 1. He's out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina. And then all the way from Howell, New Jersey, in the number 99 car for Jamie Tomino, 5th in points is Jimmy Blewett. Blewett, first time, full-time competitor here with the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic so far this season. Also out of New Jersey, third-generation race car driver in the number 24 for Buddy Ellis, it's Danny Bone. He currently resides 6th in the point standings. And then also out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina, in the QRC HVAC refrigeration, number 4, it is the working man, Jason Myers, 7th in points. Rookie of the Year contender out of Connecticut in the Hillbilly Racing number 79 is 8th in points. That's Anthony Bello. Jonathan Cash, who comes off of 2 really good runs in the most recent 2 races with the Smart Modified Tour. He's in the Pace-O-Matic number 16 for S&S Racing, 9th currently in the point standings. And rounding out the top 10, he drives the 02 that we affectionately call the Gray Ghost, Joey Coulter, former NASCAR Truck Series winner. Coulter, an engine erupting underneath the hood of that race car 1 week ago in Rougemont, North Carolina. This is a completely different engine, of course, and race car that he ran with down at New Smyrna Speedway during Florida Speed Weeks back in February. All right, looks like we will get qualifying picked back up here. This gentleman has not raced with the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic in a couple of seasons, making his first start of the year here. Daniel Beeson in the number 44. He's been running Bowman Gray Stadium the last couple of years, and now can only run a handful of races at the track in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Said practice was a little bit of a struggle trying to get a handle on this number 44 machine here today at Hickory. First time of record, 15.073 for Daniel Beeson. Came so close to a win last year at Bowman Gray Stadium in NASCAR Modified competition. Second lap in the 14-second bracket, 14.998. The top time of record so far during Pace-O-Matic Pole Award qualifying. Now on the racetrack, what a run this guy had just a few weeks ago in the King of the Modifieds at South Boston Speedway in the number 22 machine. He hails from Advance, North Carolina, in the Carolina Drilling Fury machine for Jason Tutterow. Jason Tutterow, 15:042, second quick, first lap. Says he'll be good in the race. Did not put tires on and make a mock qualifying effort. In practice, a little wiggle right there down at turn number 4 to the checkered flag. He goes Jason Tutterow to the top of the board. 14.930 for Jason Tutterow. His team car now on the racetrack in the number 21 out of Marina Creek, North Carolina, in the Carolina Drilling Tutterow Racing Fury machine for Jimmy Wallace. Jimmy Wallace, also a great run at South Boston Speedway in the top 10 in the King of the Modifieds. Jimmy Wallace coming around, this time for the white flag. Let's see what he can do on his time. Top time so far for Jimmy Wallace, 14.636 for Jimmy Wallace. Wallace, a lot of experience here in modified racing at the famed Hickory Motor Speedway. Coming to the checker, this time by second lap, the better lap. 14.486 for Jimmy Wallace. He is about a half a second above everybody else so far here in qualifying. Now on the racetrack, one of the fan favorites in the Smart Modified Tour. He's out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina, in the Carolina Drilling Greg Butcher Trucking, QRC HVAC and Refrigeration PSR machine for the working man, Jason Myers. Jason Myers, second quick, first lap, 14.899. Said he's either going to qualify well and run poorly in the race or vice versa. Let's see what he does here on lap number 2 as he comes around to take the checkered flag. A little bit better on his second lap, but not good enough to unseat Jimmy Wallace. 14.759, top time for Jason Myers, second quick. Big surprise to see this kid qualifying where he is in the qualifying order. In the number 23 machine out of Lexington, North Carolina. The L&R Transmissions, LeBlue bottled water, QMF metal fabrication on the side of this PSR for the point leader, Carson Lofton. Carson Lofton, number 1 in qualifying so far here at Hickory Motor Speedway. A time of 14.327. A tenth of a second quicker than Jimmy Wallace on his first lap. Second lap of record for Carson Lofton. Nope, first lap is better. The kid Carson Lofton, number 1 in qualifying so far at Hickory. Driver the number 48 out of Deerfield Beach, Florida, in the ABS Forklift Viper Graphics machine for Johnny K, Johnny Keeveman. Keeveman enters a little bit higher than most of the other competitors so far here in qualifying. Let's see what he does on his first lap. Good enough for third quick. 14.486 for Johnny K. Keeveman debuted this car at South Boston Speedway last spring. A little sideways coming off the corner for Johnny Keeveman. Second quick for Johnny K. 14.419 for the 48. Now on the racetrack, another driver from the fine state of Connecticut. Out of Lisbon, in the Curb Records, Mohawk, Stock Car Steel and Aluminum, SRI Performance, Sunoco Race Fuels, Troyer machine, it's Chris Pastriak. Pastriak, a second generation race car driver. Fifth quick, first lap, 14.914. Driving for Gary Putnam. Gary Putnam. Ooh, a little sideways down in the corner is the 77 of Chris Pastriak. That's going to hurt him on his second lap. The 77 is fourth quick. So trouble there on his second lap. Otherwise, he would have picked up a bunch. 14.588. Chris Finocchiario now on the racetrack in the number 8 machine. Very fast in practice at Tri-County Speedway just a couple of weeks ago. Returns for the first time since that outing. Chris Finocchiario out of Penfield Center, New York, with Speed 77 sales and service on the side of his race car. This is one tough dude. You ever see him? He looks like a linebacker when he's outside that race car. He too, a little bit slideways coming off of turn number 4, and that's going to hurt him. His first lap, though, good enough for his second quick. 14.366. So the 14.327 still stands right now for Carson Lofton. Another driver out of the Northeast, now on the racetrack. He is out of Waverly, New York, in the K2 Barbecue Sauces, Ken Tibble's Roofing, Coach's Pizza Troyer machine for the 23NY for Bryce Bailey. Bailey, 19 years old, behind the wheel of a tour type modified for the first time this season. Comes around to take the white flag. Bryce Bailey, fourth quick in that first lap. 14.433 for Bryce Bailey. Bailey has had Brett Bodine giving him some pointers as he competes in his first full season in tour type modifieds. Second quick for Bryce Bailey. 14.363. Second quick for Bryce Bailey. Now on one of the most famous rides in all of Southern modified racing. Now on the racetrack in the number 79 out of Newtown, Connecticut. In the Sun Drop machine, that's Anthony Bello out of Newtown, Connecticut. He too, a little sideways coming off the corner. Anthony Bello, 2 good runs in his last 2 races. Fifth quick first lap. 14.437 for Anthony Bello. Bello, nice and smooth, trying not to break it. Sideways coming off the corner. Checkered flag is out. Bello, a little bit quicker on his second lap, but he'll remain fifth quick. 14.425. Next car on the racetrack, always fast no matter where he goes. In the number 24 out of Freehold, New Jersey, in the Merifast Supply Buddy Ellis machine, it's Danny, pad to the bone. Danny Bone. Oh, kicks it sideways just a little bit. Hard on the mat he goes. Danny Bone goes to the top of the board. How about that on his first lap? 14.187. 0.2 of a second better than Carson Lofton. Will he do better on his second lap? A little bit more sideways coming off the corner. Best lap, first lap for Danny Bone. 14.187 still stands at the top of the board. The number 16 out of Oxford, North Carolina, the Pace-O-Matic Aggressive Hydraulics S&S Racing PSR for J-Cash, Jonathan Cash. Cash comes off of 2 consecutive top 5 runs. Cash, after a difficult start to the season, starting to pick things up just a little bit. Let's see what he does on his first lap. Jonathan Cash, 7th quick, 14.462. 14.462 for this former full fender driver out of Oxford, North Carolina. Tries not to spin those tires coming off the corner. Jonathan Cash, 5th quick, 14.401 for Jonathan Cash in the 16. Now on the racetrack, the defending series champion. He is out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina, and he is in that number 1 machine with Citrus Safe Grill Cleaners, Peanut Patch, and Backyard Leisure Pool and Spas on the side of that PSR for Burt Myers. Burt Myers, a former winner here at Hickory Motor Speedway. Let's see what he does on his first lap. Myers, second quick, 14.280. 14.280 for Burt Myers on his first lap. Key here, not to get the car sideways. Hard on the mat he goes, has to check up as he almost slid into the wall. Coming to the checkered flag, best lap, first lap for Burt Myers. He's second quick. Really good practice here today for the next driver on the racetrack. He is the number 18 machine out of Lexington, North Carolina, in the Yates Grading and Paving PSR. It's Daniel Yates. Yates, a good top 10 run a couple of races ago, hoping for a good qualifying effort here today. Daniel Yates, first lap, 14.773, good enough for 12th. But you need to get at least into the top 8 to have a chance at the redraw. You can see him want to get back to the gas, can't do it right there. Daniel Yates will remain 12th quick. Second time around, 14.767. Now on the racetrack, one of the top modified drivers in America right now. He's out of Northampton, Pennsylvania, in the Smart Chevy, Boykin Spaniel Rescue, Collier Trucking, Florida Connection, Long Island Mod Maniac, Hirschman Garage, and Speed Troyer machine for the 60 of big money, Matt Hirschman. Hirschman, second quick, first lap, 14.195. Oh, so close to that 187 from Danny Bone. Hirschman, second quick, first lap. Here he comes. Look at how smooth he is with the throttle pedal. Matt Hirschman to the top of the board. 14.126 for the driver out of Northampton, Pennsylvania. This kid has been so impressive in the 7VA out of Mooresville, North Carolina. Pace-O-Matic, Stanley Law Group, and Mohawk Northeast on the side of this PSR for Luke Baldwin. Baldwin, a winner of the Pace-O-Matic King of the Modifieds at South Boston Speedway. Baldwin, always good in qualifying, 5th quick first lap. 14.337 for Luke Baldwin. Luke Baldwin coming around to take his 2nd qualifying lap, improves to 4th quick. 14.320 for Luke Baldwin. Now on the racetrack in the number 99 machine, for so many years being driven by Jamie Tomeno, the former NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour champion. Now being driven by the driver out of Howell, New Jersey. Jamie and Cheryl Tomeno own this machine for Showtime. Jimmy Blewett. Blewett, 2 consecutive races with runner-up finishes. Blewett pretty fast in practice earlier today. 8th quick on the first lap. 14.395 for Showtime, Jimmy Blewett, a 7-time Turkey Derby winner at Wall Stadium in Belmar, New Jersey. Blewett remains 8th quick, first lap the best, 14.395. You talk about a guy that could be a sleeper pick for today's win here. This guy has a lot of experience at Hickory Motor Speedway. He's out of Statesville, North Carolina, and the Cherokee Unlimited All-American Roofing and Restoration Troyer for Paul French. It's Jake the Snake Crum. Crum first lap, 14.383. That'll put him 8th on the board so far. Crum, a former Bobby Isaac winner here at Hickory Motor Speedway. Usually runs those full-fendered race cars. Tries to get the car turned down in the center of the corner. Jake Crum, 7th quick, a little bit better on the 2nd lap, 14.364. What a run this guy had 2 weeks ago at Tri-County Speedway just up the road. He loves this place as well. He's out of Maiden, North Carolina in the Mark III Financial Units Moving and Storage Buzzy Racing Troyer machine for Tommy Buzzy Jr. Number 25 on the first lap of record. Not as quick as I'm sure he wanted it to be. 13th quick, 14.456 for Tommy Buzzy in that Mike Smith-owned machine. That car is pushing like a dump truck. 2nd lap for the 25 of Tommy Buzzy. 13th quick overall, best lap on the first lap. Here comes the number 02 now on the racetrack out of Miami Springs, Florida, in the Torch Eyewear Molecule Air Shock Driver Fried SRI Performance Bilstein Fury machine for Joey Coulter. Joey Coulter, 7th quick, 14.362. His engine last week at Orange County while running in the top 5 grenaded. Went up and not only smoke but fire as well. Good to see him okay. 2nd lap for Joey Coulter. Will be 5th quick, 14.291. 14.291 for Joey Coulter. And now the fastest car in practice earlier today. This driver out of South Bend, Indiana, in the Shitty Coolers, Capital Automotive Group, Aggressive Hydraulics, Montrose Molders Corporation, for this PSR machine for Ryan Newman in the number 2. Former Brickyard 400 winner. He's won just about everything in the NASCAR Cup Series. The Daytona 500, heck, he was the SRX champion last year. Now racing here at Hickory Motor Speedway. White flag for Ryan Newman. First lap, 8th quick. 14.346. He's got to step it up a little bit. Right now, he's in the top 8, which could redraw. Man, he is pushing it. Coming to the checkered flag. Newman, 7th quick overall. 14.346. Best on his first lap for Ryan Newman. So it looks like Matt Hirschman out of Pennsylvania will capture the Pace-O-Matic Pole Award here today with a time of 14.126. 2nd place in qualifying, 14.187 for Danny Bone. Burt Myers, 3rd quick in the number 1. Joey Coulter, 4th quick, and Luke Baldwin rounding out the top 5. Carson Lofton in 6th after having some difficulty underneath the hood during practice here today. Ryan Newman 7th quick, and Bryce Bailey out of Waverly, New York, 8th quick in the 23 NY. Drivers will assemble just shortly right by Victory Lane here at Hickory Motor Speedway. We will have a 4, a 6, and an 8 pill in a bucket that Whitney will hold, and the pole sitter, Matt Hirschman, will select a 4, a 6, or an 8 out of that bucket, and by virtue of whatever number he selects, that number of drivers, in terms of their finishing order from qualifying, will redraw for their starting spot tonight in the Hickory 100, presented by Dale Earnhardt Chevrolet at Hickory Motor Speedway. Yes. Teams assembled on the front stretch here at Hickory Motor Speedway for the redraw. Matt Hirschman selects a 4 out of the hat. That means the top 4 from qualifying for the Smart Modified 12 will redraw for their starting spot. Just moments away from the redraw for the top 4 qualifiers for the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. Matt Hirschman, number 1. He'll be on the pole for 100 laps here today, coming to the green flag. Danny Bone, 3rd. And Burt Myers, 4th. Now Joey Coulter, who's a little late to the qualifying redraw here. Not used to being qualifying up front this year, but doing much better as of late. Charlie going to draw out of the hat. And there we go, outside of the front row for Joey Coulter. So it'll be Matt Hirschman and Joey Coulter bringing the field to the green flag tonight for the Hickory 100, presented by Dale Earnhardt Chevrolet. Third will be Danny Bone, and fourth will be the CitraSafe Grill Cleaners machine for Burt Myers out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina. Matt Hirschman and Series Director Chris Williams chatting. Got an opportunity to come back here and run Hickory Motor Speedway today. Looks like you have a good race car. How about it?
Yeah, so far so good. Yeah, the weather wasn't so nice up in the Northeast. We were supposed to be at Lake Erie for the Race of Champions, but they were kind enough to postpone early in the week or midweek, so it gave us an opportunity to come here to Hickory. I always enjoy racing here. I really like the racetrack. I think it suits me well. And so far so good today, but I just said to Chris Williams here, we've led the most laps this year, but we haven't led the last one yet. So we'll see if we can change that tonight and hopefully stay out front, but lead the most important one.
I remember the first time you came here, you ran some laps in my super late model in a practice session back in the day, but these modifieds around Hickory, how cool are they?
Yeah, it's a really, I mean, a lot of character in this racetrack, just a lot of history in general, but it's definitely a racy place. If you got a good car, there's no doubt you can move forward, and if your handling goes away, you're going to go backwards. So it's a good racy racetrack. Glad to be here tonight, and looking forward to the feature.
Matt Hirschman will receive the Pace-O-Matic Pole Award here today on the front stretch for today's race, the Hickory 100, presented by Dale Earnhardt Chevrolet at the Hickory Motor Speedway.
Hey, Phil.
All right, in just a minute, we will have all these mighty modifieds coming around to the front stretch. The Smart Modified Tour officials will be lining them up, and then you in the grandstands will have the opportunity to come down and do a little meet and greet with the driver you think is the best or your favorite, or no matter what it is, take some pictures, get an autograph or two during the Pace-O-Matic pit party today here at Hickory Motor Speedway. That'll happen in just moments here once we get all the drivers and teams back in their race cars. We'll bring them around to the front stretch. Honeycutt down there waiting to line up everybody. And look, he's a big guy. You don't want to mess with him. And just an update on the 0-1 machine for Brian Weber. We saw a lot of smoke coming out the back of his car during qualifying, first car on the racetrack. Not exactly sure of everything, but I can tell you that that right rear tire was firmly planted against the body panel as he went around the racetrack, because that right rear tire marks on the side of it, and so does his right rear quarter panel here today after that qualifying run. all of the modifieds lined up on the front stretch. Once we do, fans will be allowed on the front stretch to come and take some pictures, get some autographs, chat with some drivers during the Pace-O-Matic pit party today here during the Hickory 100 festivities. We will also talk to a lot of the drivers down here as well. The Pace-O-Matic pit party now in session here at Hickory Motor Speedway. We have a lot to talk about here with the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic today at Hickory Motor Speedway. You see the B29 at the front of this field. The B29 driven for so many years by Dink Widenhouse. He is with us here today as well, enjoying all the festivities. Drivers to your race cars, drivers to your race cars, as the fans will enter in turn number 1. Matt Hirschman in the Smart Ford out of South Boston, Virginia. Mitchell's store on the side, Collier Trucking for the connection. He will leave the field to the green flag. Will be out here to sign autographs just momentarily today at Hickory. So if you want to get some pictures up close and personal with these race cars, 15-inch tires, 600 horsepower engines underneath the hood, a spectacle for sure that you don't see each and every tracks in the Northeast or Southeast. The defending Smart Modified champion, Burt Myers. He will start third here today in the Peanut Patch, Citrus Safe Grill Cleaners, Backyard Leisure Pool and Spa's #1 machine, already signing autographs. Burt Myers, we'll talk to you as you do this here today. What do you think about the effort today and what your chances are at Hickory?
I like them. We worked all day on race trim. This is a place where you've got to race good. I was really surprised that we qualified as good as we did. Somebody asked me earlier, I said, we'll be about 6th. So to be third, that's promising. So the track's going to go through some changes as the sun goes down. I just hope we make the right adjustments.
What is it about Hickory? What type of race are we going to see here today from these mighty modifieds?
A lot of comers and goers. You can run too wide here. It's not about how fast you can go at the beginning, but how fast you can go at the end. And me and Jimmy Blue were talking about earlier. It's the first time he's been here, and he said, man, this place is really neat. I said, that's a good way to put it. Hickory's just a neat place to race at. It puts it in the driver's hands, but it also forces you to have a car that can drive the way you need it to drive and to be there at the end. So, like I said, I hope we put a good combination together.
We'll see what Burt Myers does here today. Win #1 on the season. And see him in Pace-O-Matic victory lane. Right next to him, starting in the top 4. Darn good qualifying effort and good redraw. For the driver of the 02 Gray Ghost at Hickory Motor Speedway, Joey Coulter signing some autographs here for the fans. Still got those hero cards with a dirt late model on it, but how about you improving your qualifying effort from week to week?
Yeah, this is good. I was really happy with last week, and honestly even more happy with this week because I didn't think we were that great qualifying. Like, I had a little bit more to complain about, but we still had plenty of speed. So that's a huge positive for us. I feel like our race pace was really good last week, and we brought a lot of the same stuff here. So I'm looking forward to tonight. We'll see if we can get the Gray Ghost in victory lane finally this year.
You've been pretty good at Hickory in your starts here. What do you think about here tonight?
It feels like a different animal. Like it's rough and got a lot of character like normal, but some of these concrete patches, man, it's really thrown a lot of grip to us, which I'm not used to that here. So I think it's going to be a great race. We always put on a good show here. So thank all the fans for coming out, because I think tonight's going to be a good one.
I think Joey Coulter explained it like a nitrous button when he hit that grip patch, that cement coming off of turn number 4. Some of the improvements that we see that Kevin Piercy and his staff at Hickory Motor Speedway have actually done to this racetrack. So want to invite everybody down here. We have some veterans that we're going to be speaking to in a little while as well, as we pay tribute to everybody here. We thank you for all the first responders and the veterans and the current military, and for all you do to fight for our freedom. See if the microphone works all the way down here by the second car in lineup order. Driver of the AmeriFast, number 24, Danny Bone. Bones led some laps, wants to get back into victory lane. Could tonight be the night to get you back in victory lane, Danny?
I hope so. We had a really good car in practice. We practiced on tires, balance felt well, so I didn't really know what to expect for time, but obviously put a good lap up. I think I would have been the pole if I didn't get loose on my second lap there. Our fastest lap was our first lap, but yeah, looking forward to it. I like Hickory. I finished second here before. I've got a pole here. We won the Owners Championship in 2021 with the 24 car here, so neat track. Have not won here, so would love to add this to my list of tracks I've won at. But yeah, we do have a really good car tonight, so hopefully we'll be there at the end of the race. And I got to thank Buddy Ellis, Lisa Ellis, AmeriFast Supply, Bill Steen Shocks, and all my crew for all their hard work. We've started out okay this year. It's been a really rough last couple of races, so hopefully we got it turned around and have a good run tonight, and then we'll have a little bit of a break.
Absolutely. Dick Bone in the number 24, looking for tonight. Nice to see everybody down here trackside for the Pace-O-Matic Pit Party. We hope you are enjoying yourself today. Hickory Motor Speedway, one of the most famous tracks in all of the Southeast, is the home for so many great race car drivers through the years. This kid finished second here last year. Carson Lofton leading the points after winning 3 races so far this year. What are your thoughts coming into this one? Because the day didn't start great, but has gotten a little bit better.
I'm really looking forward to this one since, I guess, last April, because we ran really good here. But had a little bit of motor trouble here in practice, but we got it fixed thanks to Tony Carani and all them guys. So qualified 5th or 6th, and only one way to go here now.
What'd you learn last year where maybe you can do a little bit better for this year?
Just how the race pace was. I feel like that's where I struggled a lot last year with the race pace, these low grip racetracks where you got advantage tires. So hopefully we can put this thing in victory lane tonight and keep all 4 tires on it.
Carson Lofton, the kid in the 23, watch for him in that red race car here tonight. And it just seems like Carson and Luke Baldwin always lining up near each other. Luke Baldwin, driver of the Pace-O-Matic number 7 VA for Bill Stanley, as well as Hermie Sadler, signing some autographs down here. And this is a place that a lot of people come test to throughout the years. We saw your brother have some success here last year as well. What about your chances tonight, Luke?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a lot of laps here compared to some other places we go to on the tour, so I haven't had the most success here, but laps always mean the world. So I think we're in a good spot. We've got a really good long run race car, and I've never been able to really lay a lap down here, so I'm pretty happy with ending up 5th. Unfortunately, Jack's success came at the expense of mine, but you got to let him have some, and he's gotten a lot more than me in the crate stuff, so I can't talk too much, but yeah, no, I think we got a really good Pace-O-Matic PSR products modified, and expect to be up front at the end. Just got to keep all 4 tires on it.
How much fun are you having this year with a Smart Modified Tour?
Man, like, I can't even describe it. You know, this is the funnest racing I've ever been a part of, and all these guys race so well, and I'm just out here trying to earn the respect of everybody, and I feel like I've done a solid job so far, and I'm a great opportunity that Hermie and Mr. Stanley have given me, and Somatic and our products. I'm just so thankful to be out here and get to do this almost every weekend, and yeah, I just can't wait to see what the rest of the season holds.
Luke Baldwin, 17 years old, 3rd generation racer for the Baldwin family. Long line right now for Ryan Newman in the Shitty Coolers #2 machine. Bryce Bailey. All right, Waverly, New York, all the way down to Hickory, North Carolina. What do you think about this place in the first time you've seen it?
I don't know, it's pretty fun. The only time I've really seen it is on high racing. Probably have the most laps around there compared to everybody, but on a video game. But no, we're pretty good out of the box. I guess this is sort of just going to be saving tires the whole time and just take spots when they're given to us, and hopefully we have tires left for the end.
So I want to know, last year running BMOS, running Evans Mill and so forth, what gave you the gumption to get a tour type modified and now to come down here at 19 years old and run with the Smart Modified Tour on a part-time basis this year?
Yeah, we actually were planning on going back B-Mod racing, but a deal sort of fell into our lap where we could afford it. We could never replace this ever again. So me and my crew, we've done a great job so far, and hopefully we can just keep the speed up and it lasts all 100 laps.
Bryce Bailey, look for him tonight in the 23 NY. All right, folks, here's a guy that a lot of Hickory Motor Speedway fans know a thing or two about. Jake Crum, now behind the wheel of a modified, former Bobby Isaac winner here at Hickory Motor Speedway. But how does it compare, late model stock car to a modified at Hickory Motor Speedway, Jake?
They don't compare anywhere you go, really. I've said it 1,000 times. These are the funnest. It's the funnest car I've ever driven. But yeah, there's no comparison there.
So what about this race car, this race here tonight? This is a place that you know like the back of your hand. What chances do you have here tonight in 100 laps?
I think our chances are going to be pretty good. We'll just have to see how the race plays out. Obviously, last time we saved too much tire, and it kind of bit us. We got caught up in somebody else's mess. So there's a fine line there. You got to kind of stay towards the front. You can't drop too far back, but at the same time, you got to keep the tires on it.
Jake Crum, we'll see what he can do in the black number 12 here today. You talk about drivers coming from all over the country. This guy here taking a picture with a black and yellow machine for Chris Vinichario out of New York. What do you think? Hickory Motor Speedway, you ready for tonight?
I think so. Place is pretty wore out and slick, so I think it's going to be a tire-saving race for sure.
How do you love coming down here and running with the Smart Modified Tour? Of course, so much racing experience in the Northeast, but this is a whole lot different.
Yeah, everybody races clean. It's fun. Everybody respects you, appreciates you. Chris and JB doing a great job. They appreciate you being here and thank you. And you don't get that up north too much. Like me and Jimmy were talking. Jimmy says everybody up north wants to fight with each other. Down here, everybody's low-key and nice and calm and cool with everybody so far.
Yeah, that's true. Good luck to Chris Vinichario today. And he's not wrong. Up in the north, where a lot of us are from, because I'm from Long Island, there's a lot of fights there for sure from time to time. We'll work our way around here to the driver, the number 99, out of Howell, New Jersey, talking to Eddie Harvey. All right, let's talk about this a little bit tonight. Jimmy, 99 here, Hickory Motor Speedway, first time here. I heard you were talking to some drivers. What do you think?
I think it's got a lot of character. It's really
it's always something special to come out here and be a part of the history here at this speedway. You know, and growing up, it's one of the tracks that you see on TV, and you're like, man, it'd be incredible if you could make it there someday. So here we are. We're having a great time. We got a good car here. I got a great crew. You know, we had a lot of speed here today in practice. You know, long run speed, which that's what I've been focusing on here with this car from the get-go. So I'm really confident on tonight. You know, I know our qualifying effort really didn't show it, but you know, I'm really confident of the piece that the guys put under me here. So just looking forward to getting out there and laying the laps down.
Do you know what to expect here tonight for 100 laps, being that it's your first race here?
Well, I talked to Dale Jr. On the way in here today, and you know, he just said, you know, wear the tires out quick here, you know, so just be patient, save the tires. You know, every track that I've pretty much come to down here besides South Boston, I think, and Tri-County, you know, there's really not a lot of grip. So it's really a lot of tire management for all of us out here today. And I think whoever does the best at playing that card, it will be around at the end.
Jimmy Blewett in the number 99. Look for him to compete and contend here today at the Hickory Motor Speedway. Jonathan Cash, he's the driver of the 16 Pace-O-Matic race car. Jonathan Cash coming off of 2 really good runs. I know the beginning of the season wasn't what you wanted, Jonathan, but how about a little pep in your step coming into here or what?
Yeah, definitely we got a lot better here. You know, Pace-O-Matic SNS guys were really been working really hard, and last week we actually had probably a better car than we finished. I just didn't go soon enough. And you know, sometimes these things you try to save and it's not the right thing to do, you know, and then sometimes it is. So but we came in here, we tested here, it was a lot better. Of course, it was about 20 degrees cooler when we tested, and so we were a little bit off today, but I definitely think we got a better race car than we do qualifying car today.
And Jonathan Cash, keep an eye on him here today in the 16 car. Johnny K, you're a lot taller than a lot of these race car drivers. I kind of like talking to you a little bit, but coming here to Hickory, you run a couple different race cars here. What do you think?
Hickory's a lot of fun. You need to keep driving your race car here because it'll leak the tires off it, but that makes it interesting. I think we got a pretty good piece for the race, so I expect to be moving forward.
So, how much more are we going to see you here this year? You know, kind of part-time here a little bit and so forth. Are we going to see you for the rest of the races this year?
Well, we would have been at a lot more when we had some engine problems, and it's just been a tough start to the first half of the year. We intended to run several more than we ran, so if we can keep it clean, we'll run a bunch more.
Johnny K, number 48, that yellow machine here today at Hickory. Parked next to him, another bright-colored race car for Anthony Bello and the Hillbilly Racing Ride. So, what you think about Hickory first time down here?
It's another new track unlocked. Prior experience to this was iRacing.com, so shout out to iRacing. You know, they it just helps so much just to at least hop on the sim and learn a little, so you're not completely green coming here. But just another track unlocked, and we're gonna keep going here with the Smart Tour. I love the Smart Tour. These guys do a great job putting a show on, and thank you to the fans for getting out here tonight. You know, we're gonna put the best show on that we can, and hope you enjoy it.
The only thing that iRacing doesn't have is the repair to the racetrack here on the front stretch. Joey Coulter calls this the nitrous section because you have a lot of grip. But what does that feel like here with the new cement that they put down coming off the corner, coming to the front stretch here at Hickory?
It's definitely it's a nice transition because it smooths the racetrack out, and it gets you up off the corner a little better, a little more grip obviously, and it holds you there a little better. And you know, you notice through this whole racetrack there are concrete patches, so you know, they did the best they could to try smoothing the racetrack out a little bit, and we appreciate that as drivers. For them, we shatter our teeth off in there. So just shout out to Hickory Speedway. You know, they put a great show on it. Good job to these guys.
Anthony Bello in the Sun Drop number 79 today here at Hickory. Tommy Buzzy with us as well. All right, Tommy, I do got to ask you, good in practice. What happened in qualifying?
The radio was too tight in the first lap, and then to be honest with you, the driver messed up the second lap. I just tried to make up for it and overdrove it and drove a push into it and slowed down. We have a really, really good race car. You know, thank to everybody that helps us. You know, Mark III Financial Group units. You know, Superior Bearing, Maxima. Just want to do good for all those guys. Got some of those guys here with us tonight. Got the race pace, really, really good race car. So looking forward to it.
So, You start a little bit further back than you want to, but you got the 100 laps. You think you got a shot today at the victory?
I do. The car, race pace-wise, it was really good underneath me. I was very happy with how I was driving in practice, so really looking forward to the race. Just stay out of trouble. Just go forward, get yourself in position at the end, and it'll be there.
Tommy Buzzy in the electric blue, number 25 here today at Hickory. There he is. Jimmy Wallace, driver of the number 21, hanging out with the team, the family. What do you think about Hickory Motor Speedway? What's this race going to be like tonight, Jimmy?
I think it's going to be a tire management race. Whoever can save tires till the end, and see how cautions fall, and when you want to come on down pit road and take your tire, or you want to hold off and wait for a while and hope you get another caution.
Has the changes in the track, some of the patches and so forth that they put in play over the winter to prepare for the season, has that changed anything from behind the wheel?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely helped the racetrack. Hickory's always been a little rough, and the fact that they can come in here and patch it up a little bit and try to smooth it out some has definitely helped. I feel like as far as our car is concerned on forward drive and stuff. So we'll see if we have it at lap 100.
Jimmy Wallace, maybe we'll talk to him on the radio today during the Hickory 100. Jimmy actually does have the Bob Labonte sticker. We lost Bob Labonte this past week, and definitely thoughts go out to the entire Labonte family. And you see some of those stickers on the side of the race cars here today with a Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. Got a special treat at the front of this field. You see that good-looking blue and white B29 race car, Dink Widenhouse, and my brother Matthew is with us from Flow Racing, and you've gotten the opportunity to know Dink very, very well, and he's excited to be here today out in front of the field and signing some autographs.
Yeah, folks, if you see that B29 up there, go say hello to a living legend. He's 92 years old and a true sweetheart human being, but today is special because modified racing doesn't typically, throughout its history, have teenage superstars. And here in the Smart Modified Tour, we've got two of them that have won races this year, with Carson Lofton, 16, and Luke Baldwin, 17. And there was a time in the 50s that Dink Widenhouse was called in the newspapers the schoolboy sensation. So it's like looking in the windshield and in the mirror through the same pane of glass today, historically at Hickory. A special thing to have a teenage sensation that's now in the Smart Tour, and then Dink Widenhouse here meeting each other. So folks, go say hello to Mr. Dink. He's a true legend. 1955, he won about every race here. True legend in our sport.
I got to ask you before I let you go here, because I love the story that you told me a little earlier ago. And I think you asked Dink, well, when's the last race he won here or something. Tell that story for me.
Well, he looked at me and he kind of grinned and he said, 19-something. But in 1955, he cleaned up here. And actually, at the end of the season, he had the points championship locked up. Okay, at Hickory Motor Speedway. And what happened was Ford came to him and said, hey, we'd love you to drive our car in a big Grand National race, which is now the NASCAR Cup Series. So he flat towed a car from North Carolina to Memphis, Arkansas Speedway. I believe he finished 8th. It was a top 10 finish, and missed the last race here at Hickory, handing the championship to his great friend, Ralph Earnhardt. And, you know, in talking to him, too, he said, you know, that was good for Ralph because he raced for a living, and I wasn't racing for championships. So Dink is a true gentleman and one of the nicest people I've ever known in motorsports, and it's an honor to have him and his family in the famous B29 here. So folks, make sure you appreciate that. Our past is what makes us great, and what connects, you know, these beautiful race cars you're seeing here with the Smart Modified Tour, and that's an early modified, and it's a beautiful thing.
So get out to the front of this field here today. Go see Dink out of the front. Take a good picture of that B29 as well, because it is a good-looking ride. Moseying on over here throughout the field as well. Chris Pasternak. Oh, that's a good-looking race car right there. Signing some autographs with his 5CT from up in the north. He's out of Connecticut, but he's driving for Gary Putnam here today in the number 77 race car. And Chris, I want to ask you about this, because I asked Gary, I said, how's this with Chris running for you, because your family go way back, and he said, I owed him one. So I want to ask you about that, Chris, just running this 77 car here for Gary Putnam.
Oh, it's great. He called me up on Sunday, asked me if I could do it, and I said I'd love to. And yeah, we missed the mark a little bit in time, but it's a long race here, 100 laps. Gary's doing his best to tighten it up for me, and yeah, we'll save some tires, see if we got anything for the end.
Looked like you got a little loose, and for people that don't realize, you have some prior experience here as well and had some success at Hickory Motor Speedway. So what do you think about this place coming into the race today?
Oh, I love it. It's all wore out, got a bunch of personality. It's history, man. You just walk through the gates and you think all the people that have raced here through all the years, and even promoted it, and it's awesome. Hope everybody enjoys it, has a great night, and try to put on a good show.
Number 77, Gary Putnam, normally behind the wheel tonight. It is Chris Patriak. Jason Myers back here, and earlier today I was telling everybody, Jason, you said if you didn't qualify well, you would actually run real well. So I'm expecting to see this car at the front by the end of tonight.
Yeah, if we're going to say that, I got to have the fastest one here. I didn't expect it to be this bad. Ugh, it's awful. But yeah, I say the same thing every week, Dillner, and we qualify bad, we should have a good race car, but who knows, man. If you see me pitting a lot, you know I got my hands full. If you see me riding, going to the front, you know I got a good race car. So I'll find out when y'all do.
Well, we love watching you for sure, but this place, you talk about the Myers family, so much history. This place has so much history as well with Hickory Motor Speedway. You walk into it, don't you feel it here?
You do, absolutely. You feel it when you pull in up there in the parking lot, man. You don't even have to get in the racetrack. And you know me, I've been doing this my whole life. I've been here forever, and so has this racetrack. And I love coming to places like this, man. And these fans are in for a good show today, because this is going to be a good race.
More autograph seekers here for Jason Myers, the working man at Hickory. Going to try to get a word with a couple more drivers here. See, we test the limits of this microphone here at Hickory. Jason Tutterow, can I scoot in here? Thank you. Jason Tutterow. Yeah, some cheers for Jason here, coming off the heels of that top 10 finish at South Boston. Now you're here at Hickory. Wasn't here last year, but what do you think about tonight's race?
It's a tough track for me. I've had a tough go here, so we're going to take it easy, ride it out. I got a feeling it'll be a slow pace at first, see what we got at the end.
How much do you love running with the Smart Modified Tour, and why?
I'm at the age where this is the only racing I'm going to do, and if it wasn't for Smart, I wouldn't be racing. I just really enjoy running modifieds, and do it 3 or 4 more years and see where we fall. Hopefully we get a little better every year, every race.
Absolutely. Jason Tutterow here tonight. We appreciate his support with Carolina Drilling as well. Driver of the black and yellow machine, Daniel Yates, was pretty good in practice earlier today. Hoping for a good run. Good top 10 finish here recently with the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. So I want to ask you about Leisure Time Rentals. I see a new sponsor on the side of this race car. What's that about?
Well, he's been a sponsor. We just we didn't put him on. We forgot, run out of time.
10-4. So what do you think about this race? And listen, you have a good finish here today. He's going to be very happy to have that on the side of the car. So what do you think about Hickory? Because you were pretty good in practice today.
Yeah, we were a little bit tight in qualifying, but I think you need that later on, so I think we'll be good.
All right, Daniel Yates going to continue to sign autographs here today in the Yates Grading and Paving number 18. I don't know how far this microphone's going to last, but we'll come over here to Daniel Beeson. You've seen him at Bowman Gray Stadium. He's going to run about 8 races or so this year, but returning to the Smart Modified Tour Wars. What do you think about this Hickory 100 coming up tonight here live on Flow Racing?
I think it'll be a great show for your fans. I think you'll really get your money's worth. This track, you got to get up on the wheel. A lot of grip not here that we would like to have. So you guys will be in for a treat for sure.
Daniel Beeson in the number 44. Keep an eye on him to see if he can work his way through the field tonight. Never know who you're going to bump into, and we got some special guests here right on the front stretch. Everybody wave your hands in the air. Come on, all you guys, that's right. The Munitions Maintenance Squadron here, the 380th. And I want to ask what you guys are doing here, first of all. I got Keith Morrison with me, and I want to know, what are you here at Hickory Motor Speedway to do today as a group?
Just have fun and appreciate all the hospitality from you guys. And we all spent 40 years ago, we spent time together at a place called Plattsburgh Air Force Base. And this is where we wound up. We got together this weekend at John's house. He lives here in Conover. And we just had a blast at his house, and we're ending it with this race.
So for those that don't know anything about what you guys have done, why don't you explain what the squadron was all about?
We worked on nuclear weapons.
A very, very important thing for sure. And you got a great group of guys here hanging out. But, you know, how much service here, you know, amongst all of you do you think is in the crowd here today?
Right, with just us here, over 80 years, easily, if not 100. Probably in the crowd, probably over 200. There's a lot of veterans out there. We're only 1% of the country, but we're proud, we're loud, and we love this country.
Proud and loud. I tell you what, speaking of loud, how about putting your hands together here today for these special guests on the front stretch, the 380th Munitions Maintenance Squadron here today. All excited to be at Hickory Motor Speedway. Have you ever seen a modified race?
No, but I met Dale and Dale Jr.
There you go. That's pretty good. Absolutely. Well, these modifieds are going to put on a show here today. We hope all of you have a great time at the famed Hickory Motor Speedway. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much. From the bottom of our hearts, we appreciate all the hospitality, like I said, and let's get racing.
Absolutely. Let's go racing. Put your hands together once again here today for these veterans. They worked on nuclear bombs, okay? That's very, very important. They got to take care of that stuff. But thank you so much for joining us today at Hickory.
All right, the Blake Barney disqualification awards the win to Carson Lofton. Rumble at Rougemont win. I know you guys are pumped up, but obviously you don't want to win the one that way.
Yeah, I hate that happening. You know, you don't want to win one that way. I felt like we had a really good car at the end. Blake was really strong there, but I felt like we had a little bit something for him, but just ran out of laps there. Like I say, just hate to win like that, win like that. But you know, I just can't thank these guys enough for everything. You know, they worked so hard, and to get them back in victory lane for the third time in 5 races means a lot.
You know, a little something that we didn't see on camera just happened here after the race. Tell me about that.
You know, I'm not really sure. I wasn't really down in the tech area. I'm not sure what they called or anything, but yeah, he came up to me and you know, congratulated me. The class act, you know, I like Blake a lot. He's a really good race car driver, so I hate that happened to him, but you know.
Tell me about the charge, because he had a huge lead on y'all, and then you were coming.
Yeah, after the stop, I felt like we were a little too tight. We were actually really tight, you know, and I lost a spot to Jimmy, and he was pulling away from us, and, you know, the car came alive towards the end, and when it came alive, I knew how to make something happen. Got by Jimmy, and I ran him down, just ran out of laps there at the end, so, you know, I felt like if it would have been 5 more laps, we'd have a heck of a race for the win.
Dude, you're a 3-time winner in Smart.
Oh, it feels great. You know, this all goes to them. You know, they've got a great group of guys over there. So, you know, we're in the shop late every night working our tails off, trying to find speed. So, you know, to get third, win 5 races, it means a lot.
So let's look at this belt here, man. What do you think about this thing?
I feel like Ric Flair right now.
So are you
Strong lofting.
limousine riding, jet flying?
Yeah, yeah.
Kiss stealing, wheeling, dealing?
Yeah, yeah.
Give me a woo. Come on.
Hold on.
Woo! Woo! 3-time winner Carson Lofton. He's got the Rumble at Rougemont belt.
Beat up were you after that wreck?
Well, basically, I shattered my left tibia, and they put it back together with cadaver bone and some, 8 screws and 2 steel plates, and I broke my pelvis in 2 spots on the right side and tore my AC joint in my shoulder. So, I mean, I'm on the mend now. I can stand. I just still can't walk, but I'm hoping within the next 2 or 3 months I'll be back up and walking, and hopefully we can get back going in race mode.
It's good to see you here, bud.
Yep, nice seeing you too, Bob. And just like I said, just keep supporting this series. It's growing, and I think big things are to come. And I can't wait to get back at it.
Jeremy Gerstner with us today. Put your hands together for him after that tough wreck at New Smyrna Speedway. Great to see him back at the racetrack. As we wrap up the Pace-Matic Pit Party, I want to talk to Series Director Chris Williams as well. Look at these modifieds on the front stretch of this historic racetrack. It kind of gives you chills, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Coming here to Hickory and seeing the modifieds here where it kind of basically all started is a cool sight, and we were talking about it earlier, all of the qualifying and how close they are to the top 20, and any of them can win makes it even more fun to see how this race is going to play out.
And some changes here, some patches, kind of, making things a little bit different, characteristic, some of these drivers say for this racetrack. What do you think we're going to see here tonight, Chris?
Well, I think you're going to see a little bit of the same. And here at Hickory, always got to have tires in the back of your mind. And I think what you got out front, 1 or 2 of these guys will want to pace the field at their pace. I'm not saying they're going to wear their tires out or not, but they want to know how hard they can go and keep everybody behind them. And these guys back here want to lead to get the lead so they can pace. So I think it's going to be to the first 30 laps is positioning. And then I think the race is going to play out like it normally does. It's going to be go time about lap 50, and everything's going to kind of break loose, if you know what I'm saying.
It's been go time for the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic this year. 6th race of the season. A little bit of a break right now. Let everybody get refreshed and so forth before heading to a very fast racetrack, Franklin County Speedway, near the end of May.
Yeah, we kind of, with the King of the Modifieds and the way the schedule and Easter come out, we kind of piled them all into 6 weeks in a row, and it was kind of tough on everybody. We went to King of the Modifieds and tore up some cars, wrecked the field, a Talladega wreck on the back stretch. We've had some motor issues, and when you got them back to back to back, it's hard to get everybody to the racetrack. And so next year I got to take a look at the schedule and not put so much pressure on these guys to try to make it to the track the very next week. Live and learn, but at the same time, we know the stadium's coming up, and we got to get these guys as many races as we can. The weather kind of helped us this year. I mean, it did rain, but it didn't rain us out, which is a blessing because it did rain a lot of other people out. And so we've got the races in, and the great crowds like this, people love the modifieds. I appreciate everybody being here. When you got 24 fast race cars at every racetrack and it continues to grow, the platform is here not only for the drivers to showcase what these 650 horsepower can do, and then the fans love to watch it. So it's a good combination.
Absolutely. Chris Williams, thank you so much for bringing Smart back alive here in the South. So good to have the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. Our next race will be actually a Friday, May 24th at Franklin County Speedway, just from North to South Carolina. So you need to check it out. May 24th at Franklin County Speedway. That's too funny. He was mad at me. We are wrapping up our Pace-O-Matic pit party for the Smart Modified Tour at Hickory Motor Speedway. Thank you so much to the entire staff here for their hospitality, and thank you to the great fans for coming out. Want to remind you, you can head over to the concession stands on the front stretch, get some bologna burgers and a whole lot more. And then there's something really cool down in turn number 4 as well. You see that little area with the silver trailer and the black tent and so forth? That's KP Cakes down there. You got to check them out. Funnel cakes, deep fried Oreos, just real good stuff for you. Deep fried strawberries, lemonade, orangeade, strawberryade, snow cones. So if you got the kids, okay, and you want them to be energized here tonight, or if you want to just make it through a long night of racing at Hickory Motor Speedway, head out to turn number 4, right outside the racetrack right there. You see that black tent, and go to KP Cakes down in turn number 4 for all sorts of goodies.
Hickory Motor Speedway, what's going on tonight? That was weak. I've been to every short track in North Carolina, and that had to be the weakest what's up ever. Let's do it again. Hickory Motor Speedway, what's up? So this half of the fans is having a good time. The most fans are over there, and they didn't make a sound. All right. So this half of the field, what's going on? See? It's just y'all. They're taking naps. I think they're watching the Pace-O-Matic pit party still. Let's wake them up. This half of the field, what's going on, Hickory Motor Speedway? Now, right side, what's going on? Still nothing. Still nothing. Man, I guess I'll go over here. It's their fault. We could be the loudest thing possible. There's a race going on at New River All-American, and I could hear their crowd when a certain rookie, Dale Jr., I think is his name or something. I've never heard of him. We could hear their fans talk. Let's hear Hickory Motor Speedway make some noise. What's going on? So this part was cool, but this part didn't make a sound. Now y'all's turn. What's going on, Hickory? So now it's that half of the crowd. Man, come on, all in unison. We should do this together. This is fun. Who likes modified racing? That didn't sound very convincing. Y'all like late model racing around here? I know what y'all like. Y'all like South Carolina basketball here in North Carolina, don't you? Sounds like you do. Y'all are Gamecock fans? What about Wolfpack fans? Slate Myers, I like that one. Are we North Carolina Tar Heel fans here? So there's 20 of you. That sounds about right. North Carolina blue ain't the real blue. No, it ain't. No. See, I'm glad I could say something that gets the crowd actually wanting to, be hype and be into it. Who in here is a fan of the Southeastern Conference? How many Tennessee Volunteer fans we got in the stands? Rocky Top, you'll always be home, sweet home to me. Good old Rocky Top. Let's go. Well, that woke 5 of you up. What else? Roll Tide. Ugh. Oh, Ric Flair. Who's a fan of the Nature Boy? The 16-time world heavyweight champion, Ric Flair? He's a fan of Ric Flair. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Man. Huh. So, don't we have some, racing to go for? Who are we cheering for tonight? If Junior was here, I'm sure a lot more would happen. Ryan Newman, Jack Ingram, okay, that's good. Who's cheering for Carson Lofton down there? Okay. What about Ryan Newman? Y'all ever heard of him? Have y'all ever heard of Ryan Newman before? He won something like a Daytona 500, something big trophy. It's huge. I saw it once on TV. What car was he in? Wasn't that like the Alta or something? That's a good one. Who's cheering for the Baldwin out here? That Luke kid, Luke Baldwin? No? Nobody's cheering for Luke Baldwin. Sorry, Luke. Sorry, buddy. It's my bad. They didn't say anything. Nobody cheered for you. Hey, that guy said you don't need any cheers to win tonight. His words, not mine. Man, come on. Let's do this together, because I want all of these smart drivers powered by Pace-O-Matic right here to feel the excitement that they're about to give you 100 action-packed laps around the... Can we all agree that this is the greatest speedway in North Carolina? Come on, Hickory. I said, is this the greatest speedway in North Carolina? That half still doesn't agree. So they don't matter. Let's cheer it. They don't matter. They don't matter. But you know who does matter? See these drivers right here? You see the Carolina Crate Modifieds is powered by Central Logistics today? Who likes Cookout? Big Cookout fans? So the Cookout 100 for the Carolina Pro Late Model Series will follow this one. Some of y'all might know, there's over 300 locations for Cookout. 44 milkshakes? Who heard me say that outside? Yeah, you did. I got a double burger with bacon, mustard, cheese, double fries with a banana pudding milkshake and a large Coke Zero with light ice. Greatest order ever. Greatest order of all time. It washed down smoothly. Race fans, would you please rise and remove your hats as I'm going to say the prayer. Dear Lord, we thank you for this day that you've blessed upon us here at Hickory Motor Speedway. We thank you for every one of our drivers up and down from all three series that have come here from far and wide. We pray that you bless them, their families, and all the fans that are in attendance. God, we know this is only possible with you and you alone. We pray guidance and peace for all of our troops and the people that are in charge of the great nation. We pray these things in your holy name. Amen. If you could please remain standing as Miss Presley Layton is here to sing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, race fans, we'll pass it on up to Bob Dillner as Flo takes over for the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic.
Thank you so much, Terry. We're looking forward to this Hickory 100 presented by Dale Earnhardt Chevrolet tonight for the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. Just moments away from driver introductions here at Hickory Motor Speedway. We need all drivers beside their race cars. Folks, let's meet the starting lineup for today's Hickory 100, presented by Dale Earnhardt Chevrolet at Hickory Motor Speedway. Starting 22nd in the final row here today. He's a former Carolina Crate Modified Series champion, that same series that's running here today at Hickory. And at number 12, it's Cody Norman. Starting 21st here today, making his first start with the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic in the last couple of years. Former full-time competitor in NASCAR Modified competition at Bowman Gray Stadium. It's the number 44 of Daniel Beeson. Starting 20th here today. He had a top 10 finish just a few weeks ago in the King of the Modifieds at South Boston Speedway. With Carolina Drilling on the side of his race car, it's the number 22 of Jason Tutterow. Starting 19th, this is a true tough guy. Behind the wheel of the Yates Grading and Paving number 18 Modified. An 8th place finish 1 week ago at Orange County Speedway in Rougemont, North Carolina. Driving with a broken collarbone, it's Daniel Yates. Starting 18th, one of the crowd favorites every time he goes to a racetrack in the South. A 40-time winner of NASCAR Modified competition. At Bowman Gray Stadium, he's out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina. Driver the number 4 for the working man, Jason Myers. Starting 17th in the Gary Putnam, good-looking blue number 77 machine. He's a 13-time winner in the Modified Racing Series in the Northeast. A second-generation race car driver, it's Chris Pastriak. Starting 16th on the outside of row number 8. Also top 10 at South Boston Speedway in the King of the Modifieds at Reedy Creek, North Carolina. It's the number 21 of Jimmy Wallace. Starting 15th, making his 24th career start in the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. He is in the Mark III Financial Units Moving and Storage number 25 for Tommy Buzzy Jr. Starting 14th in a brightly fluorescent race car for Hillbilly Racing. With sun drop on the side of that race car, he's a 2-time SK Modified winner at Stafford Motor Speedway in Connecticut. It is Anthony Bello. Starting lucky number 13 here today. One of the tallest competitors in the starting lineup here today. He is out of Florida and a winner so many times in the Sunshine State at places like the old Hialeah Speedway and New Smyrna Speedway. It's the number 48 for Johnny K. Johnny Keevman. Starting 12th here today in the number 16 with Pace-O-Matic on the side for S&S Racing. Coming off a 2 straight top 5 finishes in Smart Modified Tour competition, he is out of Oxford, North Carolina for Jonathan Cash. Starting just outside the top 10 here today in the Jamie and Cheryl Tomeno own number 99. He is out of New Jersey and he's a 7-time NASCAR Wheel Modified Tour winner. It's showtime, Jimmy Blewett. And now let's meet your top 10 starters in tonight's Hickory 100 presented by Dale Earnhardt Chevrolet. This next driver in a good-looking ride, that black and yellow number 8. He is out of New York and a super stock winner many times over. The number 8 for Chris Finicciario. This next driver is very well known around Hickory Motor Speedway. A former Bobby Isaac Memorial winner here at Hickory. Now the driver of the number 12 Modified for Paul French. Put your hands together for Jake the Snake Crum. Starting 8th here today. This kid out of New York as well. Just 19 years old, a Beamon winner at Evans Mills. The number 23 for Bryce Bailey. Starting 7th. He's won so many races in so many different series. Now the driver for Coulter Motorsports with Randy Renfro, wrenching on that race car in the Shitty Coolers number 2. A winner at Tri-County Speedway just a couple of weeks ago for Rocket Man Ryan Newman. Starting 6th here today. The kid is just so good. A 3rd-generation race car driver, the number 23 out of Lexington, North Carolina, with 3 wins this year. The current point leader with the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic, Carson Lofton. The next driver, another teenager, just 17 years old, a 3rd-generation modified racer. He is in the S&S Racing 7NY with Pace-O-Matic on the side. It is Luke Baldwin. And now let's meet your top 4 starters. They are not lined up how they are going to start, but we will start with the 4th place starter here tonight for the Hickory 100, presented by Dale Earnhardt Chevrolet, and he is a crowd favorite out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina, a 3-time Smart Modified Tour champion and defending one at that. In the number 1 machine, it's Bert the Ace Myers. Starting on the inside of row number 2. He's a 16-time winner in NASCAR modified competition at Bowman Gray Stadium. He is out of New Jersey in the Buddy Ellis number 24. It's Danny Bone. And on the outside of the front row, now we go back to the 02 Gray Ghost machine. For a former winner on the NASCAR Truck Series, he is out of Florida. It's Joey Coulter. And on the pole, he will lead the field to the green flag here today. The 2022 winner of the race here at Hickory Motor Speedway for the Smart Modified Tour, and a 3-time winner down at Florida Speed Weeks at New Smyrna Speedway out of Northampton, Pennsylvania. In the number 60, it's big money, Matt Hirschman. And those are the stars of the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic here today that will be wheeling these machines around this racetrack for 100 laps. I'm Bob Dillner, the voice of the Smart Modified Tour. Alongside of me, App State student Ryan Hendricks. Ryan, are you ready to watch modifieds around Hickory?
Oh, I sure am. I sure am, Bob. I just walked in here today, and you just see all the history that comes out of this racetrack. It's beat up. There's cracks all over the track, but that doesn't slow down the racing at all. It's going to be a very exciting one today.
Looking forward to seeing what's in store for the Smart Modified Tour. After this race, you will also see the Carolina Crate Modified Series as well as the Carolina Crate Pro Late Model Series. This racetrack, 0.363 miles in length. It's got some bankings in the corners, 14 degrees down in turns 1 and 2, 12 degrees in turns 3 and 4. Moments away from getting this one kick-started here at Hickory. I think I was actually riding a bike and putting the kickstand down like the old days. And you see that good-looking blue and white modified, the B29, down there at the head of the field. As drivers buckle up behind the wheel of these race cars, want to say thank you to Dink Weidenhouse, who is in the grandstands here today, down in turn number 1 on that side of the tower. So Dink, thank you so much. 90 plus years old, a dominator here back in the day, 1955. He won just about everything at the Hickory Motor Speedway. Thank you so much to the pioneers of racing, and Dick Whitehouse is certainly one of those. Remember, today's race is on Flow Racing as well. 100 laps is the distance. Teams, whenever they would like to take it, have one tire at their disposal to put on any corner of the race car. Normally we see that on the right rear, so at some point during this race, during a controlled caution, you will see teams come down pit road and take that very important right rear tire. And the reason why it's even so important here at Hickory, this racetrack, a little bit like a cheese grater, these tires get abused around this racetrack.
They sure do, Bob. And we saw even in qualify, just cars sliding off of turn 4. You can see it's just going to get loose. It's hot. It's sticky out there. This racetrack just having so much history all these years out on the racetrack. These tires are going to get worn up out there today.
You think about the history of this racetrack, Ryan, opened back in 1951 as a half-mile dirt track, and obviously, you know, it's changed to the pavement side of things, and the Cup Series, the Busch Series, used to run here for the NASCAR big boys. I was at that final Busch Series event way back when. It was a lot of fun to see that and see the finale for the NASCAR Busch Series back in the day, which is now the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Thank you to everybody from Dale Earnhardt Chevrolet who is in the house here today. Kevin Piercy as well as Skip and all the staff at Hickory Motor Speedway for inviting the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic once again here at this fine facility. Just to remind you, here's a look at the point standings going into it as we await word for the command to fire engines. Carson Lofton in the 23-year point leader. Luke Baldwin, who starts right next to him as they are lined up right there. Luke Baldwin in the 7 VA. Second in points, Ryan Newman. Third in points, Burt Myers. Fourth, and Jimmy Blewett in the 99 round out the top 10. Just moments away for the command to fire engines. All right, folks, it's the moment that we've all waited for today here at Hickory Motor Speedway. And the most important people here at this racetrack are certainly the fans in the grandstands. Thank you to all of you for coming out on this fine North Carolina day to witness the Smart Modified Tour. So I'm going to count down 3, 2, 1, and we are all going to give the command to fire engines. I want to see everyone stand up right now and get ready to fire these engines today at Hickory Motor Speedway for the Hickory 100. Presented by Dale Earnhardt Chevrolet. Folks, here we go. On the count of 3. 3, 2, 1. Gentlemen and ladies, start your engines. Hear the rumble of 600 horsepower underneath the hood of all of these cars today at Hickory Motor Speedway. So far, 5 races in for the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. 3 of them have been won by the red 23 car with L&R transmissions on the side, driven by 16-year-old Carson Lofton. Actually won his first race in the season opener earlier this year at 15 years old, 11 months and 3 days. Carson Lofton, one of those kids in the Southern modified racing culture that a lot of people are paying attention to.
Yeah, guys like Carson Lofton, guys like Luke Baldwin, just these young guns, these teenagers just out here racing with the big boys, just like Ryan, just like Matt Hirschman. And you know, these veterans are starting to get tired of these young guns winning. We know guys like the ace Burt Myers, the working man, Jason Myers. You know, these guys want to get in the win column. Guys like Jimmy Blewett, back-to-back second-place finishes, Showtime. All these veterans are coming for these young guns.
And these modifieds are spectacular at any racetrack in America. But with all the history, and you look at that Dink Widenhouse B29 out in front of this field, just so special to know that those colors, that type of race car, circled this racetrack so long ago. Back in 1955, we mentioned Dink Widenhouse, almost unstoppable here, gave up the track championship to Ralph Earnhardt because he had an opportunity to go big-time racing in the higher levels of NASCAR racing. He was not in the final race, and that handed the championship to Ralph Earnhardt. But Dink Widenhouse, that race car, still looks like it can get the job done here today.
It really does. It looks like they could go 100 laps right here at Hickory Motor Speedway. And that beautiful, and I just can't stress it enough, beautiful blue and white machine. It is shining as the sun goes down here at Hickory Motor Speedway. And I agree with you, Bob. I think Dink can still go race.
Nice to have him, 90-plus years old, in the crowd here today, just enjoying this fine Carolina day and some good old modified racing as well. Folks, we have them doubled up. This next time by, we want everybody on their feet. because our smart stars want to salute you. Not only you cheer them on, but we want to salute you as well. This is a special place, Hickory Motor Speedway, and this is our salute to open wheels, to chrome horns, and 600 horsepower. The ground pounders, the mod squad. This is the Smart Modified Tour. Five different races for the Smart Modified Tour at Hickory Motor Speedway. We've seen 4 different winners. The only driver to win here twice in Smart competition, Junior Miller, back in 1990 and 1995. Junior Miller, known affectionately as the king of Southern Modified Racing. Matt Hirschman won the spring race for the Smart Modified Tour 2 years ago here at Hickory. Last year won by Caleb Heddy out of Shelbyville, Kentucky. Heddy not competing full-time with the Smart Modified Tour this year, but hoping to come back and run a couple more races before the season's end. Matt Hirschman in that number 60 on the point. Hirschman, over the past couple of decades, definitely the best in modified racing. Has won races all over the country. Some of the biggest races of them all, like the Spring Sizzler a couple of years ago at Stafford Motor Speedway. David Hoots, the race director, making sure that everything is a go for the start of this 100-lap contest tonight. On the outside of the front row, you see the Gray Ghost 02. Joey Coulter, bad break for him last week. Blew up an engine. This is a new car and a new engine for Joey Coulter in Smart Modified Tour competition, one that he ran with down at New Smyrna in February.
And that car looked bad fast today, Bob. It was really important to see what happened to Joey Coulter last week. Was having himself a good run, and the engine literally went up in flames. But this brand new car, as you said, moving fast.
That second row, good-looking machine, black and red, number 24 for Danny Bones, still trying to win his first Smart Modified Tour victory. Burt Myers alongside of him in the Peanut Patch, Backyard Leisure Pool and Spas, Citrus Safe Grill Cleaners, number 1. They are pulling off the racetrack. Folks, get up. By the grace of God and 600 horsepower. No. We're going to go one more time here. Pace car pulled off. Race officials said, let's go one more lap until we go green at Hickory.
Got everybody all excited to go. Had you fooled up here, Bob, one more time around. It'll be green flag here at Hickory.
Here we go. Let's see if we can do it this next time by. No pace car needed. Still waving the yellow flag. Something not exactly the way it's supposed to be. So we will go at least one more circuit before we get it kick-started today at Hickory. Here we go. One lap until we go green flag racing. There on the backstretch right now, it's Hirschman and Coulter, that front row. Danny Bone and Burt Myers, second row. Baldwin and Lofton in the third row. Now we'll go with it. By the grace of God and 600 horsepower, it's the Hickory 100 at Hickory Motor Speedway. Matt Hirschman trying to get the advantage off of turn number 2. Coulter still barely there. Coulter now under fire for second by Danny Bone. Hirschman leads the first lap of the Hickory 100.
And Matt Hirschman off to a great start. Glad to have him back out here in the Smart Modified Tour. A couple races away, but we're glad to have him back.
Danny Bone on the inside, trying to get that spot. He's going to be able to do it here down in turns 3 and 4. Danny Bone to second. Battle right here between Ryan Newman in the 2 and Burt Myers in the number 1 car. That is just outside the top 5.
As we see Ryan Newman heading into the backstairs, looks to just get the advantage. Burt Myers had to check up going into turn 3.
Now single file basically for the entire top 10. Everybody going to settle in because you don't want to punish these tires too much early in this one. And as I say that, here comes Danny Bone to the inside of Matt Hirschman. He couldn't get the run up off the corner, but Danny Bone says, I want the lead and I want it now.
Danny Bone is not interested in saving tires, Bob. He wants the lead. He wants it now. He knows with a guy like Matt Hirschman in the field, he's got to go now.
Behind that, Luke Baldwin. Check that out. Baldwin, a little contact there with the 0-2 machine of Joey Coulter in a battle for the 3rd spot. Carson Lofton back in 5th in that red 23. All now single file, at least for now, in the top 5.
And Luke Baldwin on a string of good finishes. Got himself another top 5 last week at Orange County. And that teenager, once again, just making it happen out there on the racetrack.
Take a look at this battle a little bit further back in the field. The 23 red car, Bryce Bailey, 19 years old, gets passed by the 25 of Tommy Buzzy. That 25, very good in practice, top 10 on the board, but he struggled in qualifying and said, I messed up. Right now we're seeing Tommy Buzzy go to the front. He's going by Johnny K in that 48 car, Jonathan Cash in that yellow and black number 16 right in front as well.
And we see Tommy Buzzy, this is a car that expects to win. You said it all the time, Bob. Tommy Buzzy expects to win, and he's doing very good.
Buzzy trying to get around Jonathan Keedman. There's Jonathan Cash as well with Chris Vinachario in that black and yellow number 8. Burt Myers right out in front of that. And this is a battle for 10th on back.
And we see Johnny K just keep trying to work inside of Jonathan Cash, but Cash finally gets the run down the back stretch, still side by side heading into turn 3.
A lot of side-by-side racing. There's the 99 of Jimmy Blewett. Blewett, second in the last 2 Smart Modified Tour events. Jake Crum in the number 12, very good here at Hickory. Blewett right now in 7th, Jake Crum in 6th. But that's going to change right now as Blewett takes the spot from Jake Crum.
And once again, Jimmy Blewett, a bad fast race car, not the qualifying effort he wanted, starting 11th today. He thinks he's way faster than that, and that car is showing it right now.
Yeah, Blewett, one of the hard chargers early in this race. He started 11th, now up to 6th. Blewett has been so good since really he and Jamie Tomeno have been working together. They got this car dialed in today.
They sure do. And what a dynamic duo that is. Jamie Tomeno and Jimmy Blewett, a great duo, and Jimmy Blewett's making it happen in that race car.
And right now, Brian Weber going a lap down. Danny Bone applying some pressure to Matt Hirschman at the top of the field. Danny Bone kind of settled in after taking that one shot at Matt Hirschman. Couldn't get by, so has settled into second.
Yeah, he sure has. And we'll see if he looks to the inside here in turn 3. Not going to get there this time, but we see him. He's going to keep looking at turn 3 to down to the inside of Matt Hirschman because he knows he has to get in front of Hirschman early on in this one.
But here's the deal. Matt Hirschman is so good at playing his cards. He usually runs about a half a groove up from everybody else in Southern Modified Racing, and that's to save his tires. And right now, that's exactly what Hirschman is trying to do out in front of this field.
And doing it all, not only leading the field, but saving the tires. And that's why he is one of the best to ever do it by big money, Matt Hirschman.
A little bit further back, Johnny K battling with Burt Myers. Burt Myers in that number 1 car had a good qualifying run, but Burt Myers has slipped back a bunch. Started in the top 4, now Burt Myers back in the 11th spot.
And not nearly the pace Burt Myers expected to have so far in this one, but what a great run so far for Johnny K as we see him try to get near that top 10 range.
We got a great perspective of all the racing here today, and this is it. Check out the battle for the lead towards the left side of that screen. This is the Carolina Drilling CitraSafe Grill Cleaners drone during the Hickory 100, and Danny Bone continues to put the pressure on Matt Hirschman. Here goes Bone for the lead on the inside of Matt Hirschman. Does he get it done? No, he does not. That momentum on the outside, a plus for Hirschman.
Yeah, Matt Hirschman just keeps using that groove, as you mentioned a second ago. Just working to the outside just a little bit as we see Danny Bone fall a couple car lengths back.
Some good battles back here as well. Ryan Newman, the pilot on that orange and white number 2. He's battling with Tommy Buzzy for the 9th spot here in the Hickory 100.
And Ryan Newman, everybody loves to see him race. We saw the fans lining up during the pit parade to see Ryan Newman, but Burt Myers working to his outside coming into the backstretch.
Newman's got a problem, I believe. He definitely does. Now we're going to go back towards the top of the field. We got some battles brewing. Here comes Joey Coulter now looking to the inside of Danny Bone for second. Behind that, Carson Lofton just took over a spot from Luke Baldwin, so now Carson Lofton up to 4th.
We see everybody just trying to capitalize on each other. We saw Bone trying to go to the inside first, but had to back off. Now Joey Coulter's looking to the inside of him, and if Coulter makes one slip, here comes Carson Lofton.
The top 4, nose to tail. Behind that, some side-by-side racing as well. Jimmy Blewett has now moved up into the top 5, so Blewett is in 5th. Jonathan Cash has gotten by Baldwin, so the SNS Racing car is running 6th and 7th.
As we look back out front, it looks like to the inside right now, Joey Coulter looking to take over that second position. We'll see if he can get over Bone, but go and get some on the outside.
Coulter good on the bottom here. Very good on the bottom is Joey Coulter. He's now up to 2nd, moving Danny Bone back to 3rd. Carson Lofton going to try to go to that hole that Joey Coulter opened up, but couldn't get his nose up underneath the 24.
It looks like Danny Bone just had to back off ever so slightly. We'll see, he might have used up the tires just a little bit trying to catch Matt Hirschman early in this race.
Let's go back to Jimmy Blewett and Jonathan Cash. Right there, the 99 and the 16. Jonathan Cash, man, he's having a really good run right now. Jonathan Cash started 12th. Jimmy Blewett was 11th, and we got one spun coming off of turn number 4. There it is. It's Chris Pastriak in the 77. That's the ride normally driven by Gary Putnam. Pastriak, 13-time winner in Modified Racing Series competition up north. He winds up spun out in the 77 with curb records on the side of it. The ironic part about this is Gary Putnam told me earlier today, hey, I owed Chris one, because Gary Putnam used to wrench for the Pastriaks up in the Northeast. Carl and Charlie for so many years. Chris has come along as well, and now this is Chris' opportunity to come south and run for Gary Putnam, who has been a family friend for so long.
And we love to see that. And let's hope that car is okay. We'll see what happened off of turn 4. We'll see if we can get a replay pulled up just here in a second to see what happened to Chris Pastriak.
Four laps shy of Bell Helmet's stage number 1. So in another 4 laps, we will have another stoppage in the racing action. And the top 3 in Bell Helmet stage number 1 will get some points that go towards the championship equation, as well as a little cash in their pocket as well for where they finish in Bell Helmet's stage number 1. Right now it's Matt Hirschman leading the field. Hirschman having a good run so far. Second place on the racetrack right now is Joey Coulter. Third in the number 24 is Danny Bone. Fourth, the 23 of Carson Lofton. And fifth place is the 99 of Jimmy Blewett. Sixth, the Pace-O-Matic 16 of Jonathan Cash. Another Pace-O-Matic ride right behind that for Luke Baldwin. So good run for the SNS racing cars. 6th and 7th right now. 8th is the black number 12 of Jake Crum. 9th, the blue and white 25 of Tommy Buzzy. And 10th place, that brightly colored number 79 machine for Anthony Bello. Jason Tutterow, the 22 car with Carolina Drilling on the side. Top 10 finisher at South Boston. His crew attending to that race car, trying to get it dialed in a little bit for Jason Tutterow, who is running towards the back of the field. By the way, Chris Pastriak in the 77, another car on pit road right now, going by that 22 machine. Great pickup by our camera operators here on Flow Racing. And that's a good looking ride too, that number 77 machine.
It sure does. It's going to look even better once the sun goes down completely above that. Just bright yellow, beautiful blue on that Curb Records machine for Chris Pastriak. And we do see Jason Tutterow pull off just a few minor adjustments. Oh, he's not going to come back on the track just yet. We'll see if Tutterow gets back to this race later today.
By the way, there's been some movers and shakers in this field so far. One of them, a little bit of a surprise, is Ryan Newman, was charging hard early in this one. Right now, Newman, who's third in the series point standings in that number 2 machine, running back in 12th.
Yeah, not nearly the start Ryan Newman wanted or expected today. Had himself a decent qualifying run right in the top 8, but just falling back right at the moment.
Another car that we're going to keep an eye on to see if he marches through the field, that number 4 machine with Greg Butcher Trucking on the side of it for Jason Myers. Myers will start his season next week at Bowman Gray Stadium in NASCAR Modified Competition, where he is a 40-time winner, and you can watch all of those races. If you can't make it out to the Madhouse, you can watch them on Flow Racing.
Yeah, and it sure is exciting. And Jason Myers, one of the savants out there at Bowman Gray Stadium. He loves the tight action over at Bowman Gray.
Myers, by the way, running in 20th right now. Up at the top of this field, you see several good-looking machines there, all with a shot to win here today. And we talked to Jimmy Blewett during the Pace-O-Matic pit party. He said, listen, he says, the qualifying, not exactly what we wanted, but we know how to come to the front. You talk about a charismatic guy, Jimmy Blewett, his family has been around modified racing for so long. You watch that 99 car continue to work his way to the front of this field.
And just week in, week out for Jimmy Blewett, always a hard-charging race car. As we mentioned, just not the qualifying effort he wanted today, but that thing sure has race speed. And Showtime just got those back-to-back second-place finishes. Is today the day he can break through?
We'll find out. Remember, another 4 laps will be the end of Bell Helmet stage number 1. This is a 100-lap race here today for the Smart Modified Tour, and you can see a lot of the track now covered in shade. That too is going to, throw some of these cars and these teams for a loop here, because that'll change the handling characteristics of these modifieds.
It will, and you got to think, even coming out of turn 4, you're staring right into the bright Carolina sun right now. You go out of the shade into the sun. That handling sure has to be very hard in those modifieds right now.
A little bit of a break after 6 races early in the spring for the Smart Modified Tour. After this one, the next race for Smart will be on a Friday, May 24th at Franklin County Speedway in Virginia. So teams get to reset a little bit with these particular race cars. The cars that you see run in the NASCAR Modifieds at Bowman Gray Stadium, a little bit different. Now it's time for the Citrus Safe Choose Cone. And for that, we are going to go to our Carolina Drilling Citrus Safe Grill Cleaners drone. There you see Hirschman on the inside. Joey Coulter goes to the outside. We got to say thank you to Citrus Safe for all they do for the Smart Modified Tour. If it's race season, then it's grilling season. And let me tell you what, I use Citrus Safe all the time. You spray it right on your grill before you're about to fire it up. Wipe it clean. The best biodegradable grill cleaner on the market today. Find it at Lowe's, Home Depot, Walmart, and a whole lot more.
It looks like Matt Hirschman decided to take the inside here, and I think that's pretty interesting, Bob. He's been working that outside lane just to groove up, but how good Joey Coulter's been running on the inside, he had to guard it.
I think the thing is for Matt Hirschman, that's the preferred spot, honestly, on the inside. But then once he gets to the lead, he can run that half groove up. The Matt Hirschman line around Hickory Motor Speedway. Remember, he did win here a couple years ago, so he's pretty smart. Unfortunately, for the Race of Champions Modified Series up north, they were supposed to have the big race at Lake Erie Speedway this weekend. They called it early because they were not having a good forecast up there, but that gave Matt Hirschman the opportunity to come down and run once again this year. And he's led a bunch of laps, more than anybody else in Smart competition this year, but as he told us prior to the race, he hasn't led the most important one. Matt Hirschman still void of a win this year in Smart competition. Nice and slow to the Pace-O-Matic restart zone come the 60 of Hirschman and the 02 of Joey Coulter. Coulter, a little bit of a run, but look at the battle for third. The battle for third is good here. Carson Lofton, the tough way around this place on the outside, trying to get by Danny Bone for third. Side by side they are in turn number 1.
And Carson Lofton, another great restart there. We'll see if he gets the advantage coming out the back straight. Bone will pull back to his inside.
Bone not wanting to give it up. Jonathan Cash on the outside in that 16. He's trying to get by the 24 as well. Carson Lofton officially in that third spot. Bone in trouble right now. A little wiggle by that 24. That allows Jonathan Cash to pull alongside in the Pace-O-Matic 16.
He's had to check up ever so slightly there with Danny Bone on the inside. It might cost him another position. Jonathan Cash looking at his outside.
Here's the problem, though. You saw Cash get on the gas a little bit. Will that burn up the right rear tire? That's the big question. Cash says, okay, I'm going to let it float on the outside. Danny Bone keeps it down the bottom. Battle for fourth, still pretty good here in the Hickory 100. Oh, we got some cars going around in turn number 4. Several of them. Bryce Bailey in the 23, Daniel Yates in the number 18, and Jason Tutterow in the 22. Wasn't exactly able to see what happened there, but from the corner of our eye, we saw cars going everywhere. And that is the conclusion of Bell Helmets stage number 1. It's a little wild moment a little bit further back in the field. We were watching the battles in the top 5, but Bryce Bailey out of Waverly, New York, one of those drivers involved in this one. Daniel Yates, who had a top 10 run last week in Orange County, and Jason Tutterow, who was top 10 at South Boston, all involved in this mishap.
And we saw Tutterow on pit road just a little bit ago. Was able to get the car back outside, but just get caught up there. What an unfortunate break for Bryce Bailey. Had us with a good qualifying effort today inside the top 10, just already having some troubles early.
Yeah, Bryce Bailey, he chose to forego college for now, he says. For now, he might go still, but had the opportunity to go tour type modified racing and come and compete with the Smart Modified Tour, part-time basis, but taking advantage of it. And we've seen him run well at times. Florence, he had a really good run to start the year until he had some trouble down in 3 and 4 about middle of the race. Will anybody come down pit road? What's the strategy for these teams here today? That's the big question. Everybody talks about tire wear at Hickory Motor Speedway. You would think that maybe teams would want to wait. We're just 30 laps into a 100-lap race. Maybe they would want to wait until past the halfway point. But at the same time, on a couple of these races, most notably Tri-County Speedway, we saw that the caution never came late in the race. Ryan Newman was able to win that one just up the road from here a few weeks ago, but we haven't seen as many cautions late in the race over the last couple.
Yeah, there's definitely a big decision because there's no guarantee that the caution flag will wave again in this one. And you got to think, if you don't replace the tire and no caution comes out, you're going to be sliding all over this racetrack.
I'm impressed with Jonathan Cash in that 16. Bill Stanley and Hermie Sadler provide some good rides for the 16 S&S racing car, as well as the 7 VA of Luke Baldwin. They are running actually together on the racetrack. Actually, no, they're separated by a couple of cars right now. Actually, the 99 now has gotten in between Jonathan Cash and Luke Baldwin. But Baldwin said, listen, this is not my favorite racetrack, but still early in this one. And Baldwin, 5 top 5 finishes to start the year for Luke Baldwin. Very impressive for that 17-year-old right now in the 7 VA.
And it sure has been impressive, Bob. 5 top 5s, and they got that win in the king of the modified. He just took that momentum and kept running with it. And what a great start to the year for Luke Baldwin, trying to keep up with one of his great friends in Carson Lofton.
Chris Finichario in that number 8 machine. Good qualifying effort for him here today in the top 10, but he has now brought that modified to the attention of his team to make some changes. I don't see a tire change going on that race car, so maybe still a little bit too early for that. But Finichario, we do see some tire maybe swapping going on. They are allowed to swap tires on all 4 corners, but I believe that's what we're seeing right there, because I think the tire they're going to swap later on, the tire they're going to change will be that right rear, probably a little later on in this race.
Yeah, just holding on to that one extra tire right now. But a smart decision by Chris Finichario, just trying to keep some wear off of those tires, just trying to switch them up so one gets a little less wear than the other going down the stretch. Bryce Bailey in the pits as well in that beautiful red, black, and yellow 23 machine. We'll see if he can get back to pace after getting spun out in turn 4 just a little bit ago.
We go to the Racing Electronics race communication right now. Joey Coulter having a good run right now in second. How does it feel, Joey?
So far, so good. Just telling my guys earlier, I'm super excited. We qualified so good. I like this starting up front thing. It's way less stressful. But I think we got a good Fury tonight. See what happens when the sun goes down here. This place usually gets pretty wild when the weather changes a little bit. But I think we got a good hot rod, and I think we'll be there at the end.
Hey, can you explain to people how important that right rear tire that you have in your pits will be for you guys later in this race?
Yeah, I mean, it'll be big here. They've done a lot to help this racetrack with tire wear, but these cars, man, we put a whopping on these tires, so the right rear is important, and then getting that good left front tire slid back to the left rear, that'll be big later on too. We're definitely saving right now.
Good luck, Joey. Joey Coulter in the 02 as part of our Racing Electronics race communication here during the Hickory 100.
And Joey Coulter, as you mentioned, just getting to the top of qualifying. Listen, these past couple weeks just has not qualified the way he has wanted to. And you can just hear the relief in his voice of how to get to start up front. And it's clearly been working out so far, riding up there in second. As we look right now at the top of the field, top 5 at the moment, Matt Hirschman leads the way in that 16 machine, followed by the 02 of Joey Coulter as we come up to the choose cone this lap. We'll see what everybody decides to go here. Carson Lofton still running in third, trying to get in contact with him at the moment. And right behind him, Danny Bowe did hold on to that 4th position, staying in front of Jonathan Cash, who rides 5th to round out the top 5. And as we look at the choose cone, as everybody goes, Matt Hirschman will go to the inside once again. Joining him inside will be Carson Lofton.
Been listening to some of the drivers on our Racing Electronics race communication. We'll continue to talk to them throughout this race. Just one of the cool things that we get to do, thanks to Racing Electronics for all they do for the Smart Modified Tour.
Sure is. You just love to hear the insights from the drivers inside these cars. We don't know everything up in the booth, so you got to hear from them inside the cars.
Matt Hirschman, we know, has led this race from the get-go here today at Hickory Motor Speedway. Joey Coulter having a good run in second in that Bill Stein number 02. Carson Lofton in that second row to the inside in that 23. It's 23 and 24 inside and outside. Danny Bowe in the 24 on the outside for this restart. Remember, we still have more racing to go here today with the Carolina Crate Modified Series as well as the Carolina Crate Pro Late Model Series as well. They are reminding Jonathan Cash, driver the number 16 on the outside of that third right now. Still a long way to go in this one. Don't burn up those tires. Coming back to the green at Hickory Motor Speedway. 30 laps into this one, plenty more to go. They fire off a 4. Coulter digging hard on the inside, but here comes Carson Lofton. Lofton noses out in front of the 02. Carson Lofton, 3 wins this year, looking for another here today. He's up to second.
He is doing hard charging right now as we look back into the battle for third. Danny Bowe looking to the inside of Joey Coulter.
Yeah, forget about Matt Hirschman. Let him go. We're going to watch these battles behind that because there are plenty. In fact, we got so many battles, we should queue up the double box. I'm telling you, take a look at this battle. Danny Bowe and Joey Coulter side by side. Bowe now gets up to third. Contact, and Danny Bowe goes around. No way. A little contact down there in the corner, I believe. And Danny Bowe spins in between turns 1 and 2 to bring out the caution on lap 32.
And what an unfortunate break for Danny Bowe. Very fast to start the day today. Just got a little bit of contact in the corner over in turn 1. Danny Bowe is able to pull that car away. Didn't get in contact went too much, might have just spun around. But definitely a tough break for Danny Bone, who is having him a great start to this race.
Danny Bone in that 24. He's a fiery competitor. Gotta wonder if he's a little aggravated inside the cockpit of that number 24 with Amerifast supply on the side of the race car. Second caution of this race. Let's take a look at the replay of what happened to Danny Bone down in turn number 1. Here we go. Bone goes a little bit high. Not sure if there was contact or not. Maybe just subtle contact with that left front. We need to take a look at that again. And if we could back it up just a little bit more, honestly, we can see Bone gets in there, a little bounce down there over the bump in turn number 1, and Coulter just tried to stay off of him. Not sure if there was contact down there, but that bump upset that 24, and around went Danny Bone. Let's take a look at it one more time. There he goes, and you can see the gray patch right there. That little bump upset that race car, and so hard to tell if there was contact between the 02 and the 24.
And it definitely didn't seem like too much contact, if at all, like you mentioned, Bob. Joey Coulter tried to do everything to save, but as you said, it's just that little gray patch down there. This beat-up racetrack comes back to bite Danny Bone there.
Danny Bone tried to pull back up behind Joey Coulter, but right now, smart officials telling him he has to go to the rear of the field because he was the reason why the caution did come out here during the Hickory 100.
And a very unfortunate break for Danny Bone. Had a great start, was running in the top 5 all night long. And just hit that little bump, lost it in the corner. Didn't look like too much damage to Joey Coulter's car either in that 02. Danny Bone seems to be okay going forward.
You got to love Danny Bone. He's such a fiery competitor. He does has a second place run back in the old SMRS series back in 2017 here at Hickory Motor Speedway. Right now, he'll probably try to save that car, pick off spots when he can, but save the tires on that car because once he comes in during some caution, okay, he'll take that right rear and then he's going to have to charge hard.
Yeah, and these teams have got to start deciding very soon when to put on that tire. We've had a lot of cautions to start this one so far, Bob, but once again, no guarantee that it'll come back out, and you don't want to be the team that has very old tires coming to the end of the race because you know it'll come back to bite you.
A lot of newcomers to the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. One of them having a pretty good run here today is Anthony Bello in the number 79 machine. Bello, two-time winner at Stafford Motor Speedway in SK Modified competition. Right now, Bello running in 9th, and Bello has had a pretty good run of it as of late. All top 11 finishes. That's really not a category, but that's how we'll say it. Top 11 finishes in the last 3 races, including a 5th at South Boston and a 7th last week in Rougemont, North Carolina. The kid is pretty good, 18 years old. He's going to graduate high school in June.
Wow, and that sure is amazing to see just how good, still in high school, going out here, punching up a weight class over here in the Smart Modified Tour. Had himself in 11th place finish, almost 3 straight top 10s coming out of Tri-County with that 11th.
We'll take a quick 60-second break here at Hickory Motor Speedway and come back more with the Smart Modified Tour. Welcome back to Hickory Motor Speedway, the site of the Hickory 100, presented by Dale Earnhardt Chevrolet for the Smart Modified Tour, powered by Pace-O-Matic. 31 laps into this 100-lap affair for the Mighty Modifieds today around this .363 mile oval. Different banking down in 1 and 2 than in 3 and 4. 2 degrees the difference between them. 14 down there in 1 and 2. 12 degrees in turns 3 and 4. Driver having a good run here today, currently running in the ace spot, and I believe he's saving his car right now, that number 12 machine for Jake Crum. Crum has won a bunch of different races here, has raced in super late models, pro late models, late model stock cars, and now modifies at Hickory Motor Speedway in the 12 car. You just see him going by our CitraSafe choose cone here. Thank you to CitraSafe for providing the drone coverage as well as Carolina Drilling.
And Jake Crum just not having the start he really wanted to this season, not able to crack the top 15 so far. Has taken a couple weeks off, has not been able to join us, but today having a great run in the 8th position, and that 12 PA machine looks very wicked fast.
Remember, he was a contender, Jake Crum, for sure at South Boston, and he and Matt Hirschman got into it on the backstretch and caused a big pileup. Crum knows a thing or two about this place, has led more than 100 laps of competition here with all the different racing that he's done. That big Bobby Isaac Memorial win, that's one of the biggest races, that and the Fall Brawl here at Hickory Motor Speedway traditionally each and every year for late model stock cars. Plenty of time in this one, but you got to wonder what Carson Lofton does here on the outside of the front row for this restart, with Matt Hirschman with so much experience behind the wheel as the pace setter for this restart, as the leader of this race. Matt Hirschman has so much, respect for the 16-year-old Carson Lofton. They've run a time or two over the past 2 years in smart competition. Hirschman in control of the restart. He goes first, gets that lead. Carson Lofton, good momentum on the outside, though. He pulls into second. Battle for third is where it's at right now. Coulter on the inside, but guess what? Jonathan Cash in that Pace-O-Matic 16 is up to third. Great run by Jonathan Cash.
Yeah, Jay Cash off to a great start today. It was look to the inside, but a battle for Carson Lofton looking to the inside of Matt Hirschman.
The kid out of Lexington, North Carolina, looked but couldn't get there, at least not yet. Matt Hirschman still able to keep that middle groove momentum up to keep the lead a little bit further back in the field. Jimmy Blewett, we talked about Jake Crum. Look at Jake Crum in that black 12 on the outside, picking up some spots. Jake Crum now into the top 6 here today at Hickory.
And Jake Crum still working to the outside right now. Luke Bowler trying to get into the top 5, inching ever so closer. I think it's a run in turn 3.
Hey, Tommy Buzzy up to 7th as well in that electric blue number 25 as well. So Buzzy looking good. There's Anthony Bello and Burt Myers side by side. The 79 and the 1 around this racetrack for a battle in the top 10.
And Burt Myers looking to the inside of Bello right now. Not the start to this race that Burt Myers wanted so far.
And right behind that is Ryan Newman in that number 2 machine. Maybe, just maybe, Ryan Newman was saving his stuff when he fell back a little bit earlier in this race.
The crafty veteran Ryan Newman. It would not surprise me at all. Because as we see Burt pull ahead of Jimmy Blewett now, Jimmy Blewett going in the wrong direction at the moment, Bob.
Yeah, Burt Myers moving through the field now. He's up to 8th. Blewett now trying to hold off Anthony Bello. Bello put a bumper to him, but is still behind him. Slow car in the front stretch, but it looks like Brian Weber thought he was going to get out of the way, but it looks like he's going to stop on the apron down towards turn number 1. We are still under green flag racing with Matt Hirschman leading Carson Lofton. This battle here, though, Newman trying to go to the inside of Anthony Bello. Jimmy Blewett in the 99 as the caution lights come out around this racetrack, and that is for Brian Weber, who stopped on the apron of turn number 1.
And it seems like Weber just not quite able to get into the pit. Seemed like that was the idea, to be able to pull in. We were almost able to keep green, but that car gave up on him just before he could get to pit road.
We'll take a quick break here on Flow Racing and come back with some more from the Hickory 100 at Hickory Motor Speedway. We are back live at Hickory Motor Speedway. Ryan Newman, right now, one of the only front runners, I believe, on pit road. So Newman making some adjustments to that race car. We'll see if we can get somebody tuned in on our Racing Electronics Race Communications as well.
And we'll see if Ryan Newman, is this the time they decide to change the tire?
Jonathan Cash having a great run right now, riding in third. Jonathan, the momentum continues for you. How's this thing feel today?
I think we're pretty good. I felt like we had a good car the whole time, but just didn't get the qualifying effort we wanted, and hopefully we can stay up here. You know, last week I kind of feel like I messed myself up by getting too far back, and hopefully we can just stay up here. And got to thank the fine folks at Pace-O-Matic, S&S Racing, PSR Race Cars, and just everybody for giving me this opportunity.
You know, Bill Stanley is definitely watching, listening to our Flow Racing broadcast, but I want to know right now, a lot of talk about strategy. When are we going to see everybody come down pit road, you think?
I don't know. It's a big topic on our radio, too. It's kind of danged if you do, danged if you don't. So I'm pretty sure that 60's he'll be pretty on cue with his mark, so we might just see what he does. You never know.
We wish you the best of luck. Jonathan Cash right now in that third spot. Little momentum, little streak going for Jay Cash. 2 straight top 5 finishes for him.
Yeah, we said a few weeks ago, Bob, you talked to Jonathan Cash, and he said he's still getting used to modified racing. He seems to sure be used to it now, having an amazing string of finishes and a great run today, running right up there in the top 3 with Lofton and Hirschman. As we see the Ryan Newman crew looking at that tire there on pit road as we go back to the front. Let's see if there's anything wrong with that tire. We'll see. About Ryan Newman, he's had to come down pit road just a second ago, and we'll see if anything is wrong with that race car. We'll see Ryan Newman might have decided that it's time to change. Do a little bit something different. We've seen a lot of guys stick out so far in this race.
5th place right now is Luke Baldwin. We go back to the Racing Electronics Race Communication. Luke, how's she feeling?
Oh, she's feeling great. We're just riding around saving, letting these guys do their thing, just trying to stay out of trouble. We had a little Coat Brown moment right there when the 24 got spun. I saw my life flash before my eyes, and I swear the right front was coming right off that thing. But God was with me, and I checked up, and luckily we're still here with all 4 tires on it. So I think we got a really good race car. I've just been biding my time, letting these guys do their thing, and I think we should be there at the end.
You just made me laugh for sure with that explanation, but you talk about the shot here tonight. Got a lot of good cars in front of you. What are you thinking right now?
Oh, I just gotta, continue to be smart. It's time to kind of make up some track position, but not just do everything you can not to blow the rear tires off of it. So, we're getting to a point in the race where, maybe the next yellow you come in and take a tire. But if there even is the next yellow, we've seen that a few times. But yeah, I just think I gotta be smart and pick off what I can without using my stuff up too much.
Best of luck, Luke.
Thanks, Ted.
That's Luke Baldwin, driver of the Pace-O-Matic 7VA right now, having another good run in the top 5.
Yeah, he sure has. And despite only being a teenager, you could just hear from that conversation a second ago, he has the presence of a veteran and the wherewithal to know, just, hey, let these guys fight in front of me, just bide my time. Still a lot of laps to go, 62 laps to go around the Hickory Motor Speedway, just waiting around, waiting for the right moment to strike, Luke Baldwin is. Look back at the top of the field right now. Matt Hirschman still leads the way here in the Hickory 100, followed by Carson Lofton, right behind him, Jonathan Cash, as we come up to the CitraSafe Choose Code. And once again, the inside will go to Matt Hirschman.
Have you used CitraSafe yet on your grills up at App State?
I sure need to, Bob.
You do?
Because if it's race season, it's grilling season.
That's right. And we know you App Staters love to do some grilling out and so forth.
Yeah.
So, by the way, you graduate before our next race. So congratulations on the big day coming up.
Well, thank you very much, Bob. It's been a long time coming. I'm a first-generation college student. My parents are in the crowd today. My father, Roger, my little brother, Mason. Glad to see them here today.
And Spence Smith back with us as well. And he actually just got a big, we're not going to announce it because that would be not appropriate, but he got a job. I'm proud of him, honestly. So he'll announce it probably on social media because he's very active on social media. He's with us as well with the Smart Modified Tour. All right, let's get back to racing here. 38 laps complete in this one. Still plenty of time left. It's Matt Hirschman, the veteran, leading the kid, Carson Lofton, that kid on the outside of the front row for this restart, 16 years old.
And we'll see what happens here. Matt Hirschman's getting a great jump on these restarts today. Carson Lofton just smacked him a little bit the last time coming to line. We'll see if he gets a better start this time as they pull off a turn 4.
Nice, slow pace, 41-year-old Matt Hirschman going back to the green flag at Hickory. And this time, look at Carson Lofton, very strong on the outside. Does he have a shot to get to the lead here? He hasn't given it up. Now he backs up off that throttle a little bit and tries to go right behind Matt Hirschman. He gets the second.
Carson Lofton just had to back up just a little bit over there in turns 3 and 4. See if he looks to the inside this time. But Matt Hirschman seems to be pulling away once again.
Woo! Joey Coulter basically came a little bit high, and Jonathan Cash had to catch up. Now the SNS racing cars of Cash in the 16 and Baldwin in the 7 VA going at it. Jake Crum is there in that black 12 as well.
And Jake Crum looking to get any position he can right now. Luke Baldwin doesn't seem to be biding his time anymore. Looking to the inside of his teammate, Jonathan Cash.
Crum is aggressive. Let's see what he does here. Baldwin trying to get a spot on Jonathan Cash, but Cash able to keep that momentum up on the outside. We'll keep our eyes peeled all over this racetrack for you because first and second very tight as well right now, but still, right now it's Crum and Baldwin going at it for 5th.
And Crum just keeps looking to that outside. We'll see if Baldwin can hold on to it here. Going into turn 1.
Look at Baldwin, Crum. Crum knows this track like the back of his hand. Tommy Buzzy loves Hickory as well. Did not qualify well, but he promised us that he would be climbing his way up through the field. Buzzy certainly doing right that in the 25. Buzzy battling for 6th.
And Buzzy going around the outside of both of the SNS racing cars. He pulled away as we look at the double box. We're looking at Matt Hirschman, the battle for first place. The battle we just saw with Tommy Buzzy and Jake Crum.
Yeah, Matt Hirschman on the right side of your screen, about a car length advantage over Carson Lofton. On the left side of your screen, there's the 7 VA and the 16 going at it for SNS Racing. Burt Myers is there as well, so Baldwin able to get the spot. Baldwin in 6th, Jonathan Cash in 7th, Burt Myers in 8th, but Myers now up to 7th with a pass on the 16.
Not the direction Jonathan Cash wants to be going right now. Burt Myers used that outside. He seems to have that one machine going strong right now. But look over at the right side. Carson Lofton not backing off at all of Matt Hirschman.
And just ahead of those cars, we saw, oh, here we go. The 23 of Lofton sent it in there, but he got sideways. Can he keep it? Matt Hirschman battles back with that momentum on the outside. 2 of the best in the business this year in modified racing. Hirschman and Lofton going at it in the Hickory 100.
Lofton seems to just had to back off just a little bit. Look to the inside coming into turns 1 and 2. Had to back off ever so slightly. Matt Hirschman still using the Matt Hirschman line to his advantage.
Just to give you some updates, Tommy Buzzy has picked up some spots here. Buzzy in 4th. Jake Crum was in 5th, but Baldwin trying to get by him now. And Baldwin going to nose into that 5th spot at the line here at the completion of lap number 50.
You'll see also right now Burt Myers looking to the inside of Jake Crum. We'll see if Burt Myers can get a run going into turn 3 and 4. And hard charging right now is that one machine.
Sometimes you can heat up those tires on the outside groove, and we saw Jake Crum do that for a couple of different laps. So Burt Myers now up to 6th with Crum back to 7th. Up front, it's Matt Hirschman. Has led since the drop of the green, but Carson Lofton is there. Lofton, 3 wins this year. A little bit further back, Ryan Newman and Anthony Bello going at it. Newman in that number 2 car is trying to get 11th from Anthony Bello.
We saw Ryan Newman on pit road not too long ago, but right now he's charging back to the front, takes 11th away from Anthony Bello.
So as that settles down, let's go back to the lead on our Flow Racing broadcast. There is the gap. Just about a half a lap ago, Carson Lofton was on the back bumper of Matt Hirschman. Right now, about a half a car length back. And that's where we will keep our cameras peeled, because Lofton seems like he wants to get that top spot before they come down, if they have a caution before they come down, and possibly take that right rear tire.
And you've got to think a lot of these teams are thinking about that tire right now. The next caution, I expect to see a lot of cars down on pit road. But as you said, Matt Hirschman has been leading the way every lap so far. Carson Lofton trying to change that.
But here's a scary thing too for a lot of these drivers, especially ones maybe going towards the back of the field. If you don't have that tire, you don't have the opportunity to get fresh rubber. You don't have an opportunity to dial in that race car. So if you're going back now, you're going to go back further. Okay, so when will a caution come out? And will it come out? Remember Tri-County, it didn't come out in the late stages of that race.
It sure didn't. And you saw a guy who saved his tires in Ryan Newman in that race, just bided his time all the way up to the end, passing Jimmy Blewett near the end to get the win in that one. We'll see if this race, it turns out just like that one.
Danny Bone in the 24. He's a driver that had some difficulty earlier in the race. Bone spun out in turns 1 and 2. That car is a handful right now for the 24 of Danny Bone. He has 10th, but Ryan Newman trying to get up underneath him for that 10th spot.
And he seems to be into the inside of it now, going into turn 3. Ryan Newman takes 10th spot away from Danny Bone, who's still reeling a little bit from spinning out earlier in this race.
So there is Ryan Newman in 10th right now, but he may be sitting pretty. There's the Carolina Drilling Citrus Safe Grill Cleaners drone coverage. We want to go back to the top of the heap as well. You see Carson Lofton right on the back bumper of Matt Hirschman.
And as we see Burt Myers looking to the inside of Luke Baldwin right now, putting the bumper to the back of Luke Baldwin. Burt Myers is trying to crack the top 5 at the moment. We'll see what Burt Myers, the ace, can do in this spot.
Matt Hirschman, Carson Lofton, they go around the slower car of Johnny Kievman in the 48. Coulter is closed in now in the 02 machine as well. So Matt Hirschman is your leader. Second place is Carson Lofton. We'll keep an eye on that, but let's go to third place. There is Joey Coulter. Tommy Buzzy is there as well. Buzzy having a good run. He started very deep in this field in the 15th spot, and Buzzy applying some pressure for third on Joey Coulter. Behind the 25 is the 5th place running number 7 VA of Luke Baldwin. Burt Myers, the defending champ, just outside the top 5 in that peanut patch black and white number 1 car. And then behind them, a little bit of a gap, honestly. In fact, a huge gap behind that. Those cars a lap down. Now we got to go. Oh, we got to battle for the lead. Here comes Carson Lofton. Lofton, best run he's had so far. Lofton to the lead in the Hickory 100 on lap 69.
And what a big run that was for Carson Lofton. Finally got to the inside of Matt Hirschman. He'd been teeing him up for tens of laps. And Carson Lofton finally leads his first lap of this race. We'll see if Joey Coulter will look to the inside of Matt Hirschman as well.
Lofton finished second here 1 year ago, hoping to do one spot better. And now you gotta wonder, will there be a caution to allow some of these teams to come down pit road? Who has saved up their stuff? Who has burned up their tires? A lot of questions still to be answered.
And that might be the issue right now for Matt Hirschman. He seems to just be backing off the pit just a little bit as we look further back into the field. Jake Crum getting challenged by Jimmy Blewett in that Tomato Owen number 99 right now.
By the way, this was the pack we were trying to find when we were marching through the top 10. This is 7th place running Jake Crum. 8th is Jimmy Blewett. Blewett was into the top 5 earlier, but that car not to his liking here today.
Looks to the inside of Crum coming out. Turn 2 had to back off it once again. We'll see if Johnson Cash gets up to the bumper of Jimmy Blewett now. Jake Crum having himself a good run today, running in the 7th position And Jimmy Blue, as you said, Bob, just not the car he wants. If you look back towards the front and look at the gap that Carson Lofton has right now.
Listen, I am impressed with Tommy Buzzy. Buzzy, who has run so many different styles of race cars, Pro Cup, late models, modified, you name it. His family has been involved in racing for a long time, and Tommy Buzzy in that 25 car hounding Matt Hirschman now. Hirschman still occupies the second spot, but Tommy Buzzy from 15th to 3rd.
Yeah, Tommy Buzzy, what a great run it is today. Right behind you see Joey Coulter in the 0-2 and moving into the top 5 with Burt Myers in the second, but Tommy Buzzy looking to the inside of Matt Hirschman now.
Oh, he lost it a little bit coming off of turn number 4. That's going to hurt the momentum on Tommy Buzzy. He was trying not to get up into the 60 car and trying to pinch his car down the bottom, but sometimes it's hard to actually get that car to go where you want it to, and Buzzy loses some ground to Matt Hirschman.
And especially with as long as these tires have been on the race car right now, it's lost it a little bit going out of turn 4 as the bright lights are on here at Hickory Motor Speedway.
Under 25 laps to go in this one, and it's all Carson Lofton, this 16-year-old, looking good again, trying to pick off his 4th win of the year.
And what an amazing run that would be for Carson Lofton. It wasn't amazing already with 3 wins through 5 races here.
Joey Coulter now under fire. Coulter in 4th. Burt Myers maybe saved his stuff early. Burt Myers going after that gray ghost for that Rum Runner Racing team.
And Burt Myers saves his stuff, as you said, Bob. Just not able to crack to the inside right now as they work around the lap car of Cody Norman in the 12.
By the way, just to let you know, Carson Lofton's got a big lead. We'll keep our eyes peeled here. Best battles on the racetrack as the yellow flag does come out on lap 79 here at Hickory Motor Speedway. Taking a look around this racetrack, trying to find out exactly what went on. We believe there may be some debris on the racetrack. And right now, folks, you may want to go to the concession stands, but you're going to want to watch pit road as well, because all these teams, I guarantee you, are going to be headed down pit road to take fresh rubber. You see a lot of the teams get ready right now. They got the pit signs out. They got the jacks ready. They got the air wrenches ready as well to change the tire to put fresh rubber on these race cars.
And you know, a lot of these teams are happy that the caution did fly, especially that 60 of Matt Hirschman, just having to be falling back, held on to the second position over Tommy Buzzy, but he just saw that gap widen and widen and widen with Carson Lofton in front of him.
4th caution of this race comes now. We go back to the lap preceding, 78 laps complete. Carson Lofton, you got to think that everybody, the whole army of modified drivers will be coming down pit road. Carson Lofton leading over Matt Hirschman. Tommy Buzzy in the 25 is 3rd. 4th is Joey Coulter in the 0-2. 5th, Burt Myers. Good run after saving some tires early in this race. Burt Myers now in the top 5. 6th is Luke Baldwin. 7th, Jake Crum. Good runs for them as well. Jimmy Blewett, Ryan Newman, Jonathan Cash in the top 10.
And as we look right now at pit road, you can see all these teams just chomping at the bit to get that tire changed. We saw Carson Lofton's crew just a second ago. They are ready to change the tires on this team. Only 22 to go. It is go time here in the Hickory 100.
And right now it's going to be go time to pit road, I believe. Everybody probably screaming for some grip. They want the fresh rubber. They want some changes to their race cars possibly.
Look back at the front here. Carson Lofton still leads the way. Matt Hirschman was falling off just a little bit, but he is definitely glad the caution came out here so he could get a fresh set of rubbers on that car. Tommy Buzzy right behind them having himself a great run, 15th to 3rd. And right after that, Joey Coulter in the 0-2, that gray and black machine. Burt Myers rounds out the top 5 in that peanut patch #1 machine.
Getting the running order situated on the front stretch here before pit road is opened. I just got to wonder if anybody is brave enough to stay out. That's the big question. We saw Ryan Newman on pit road a little earlier. He may be setting himself up well with that Coulter Motorsports ride. Does he stay out right now? Lots of questions still to be answered during this caution period.
And it might be the gamble that Ryan Newman needs to take, Bob. Just riding around, right around 10th all day long. We saw him come to pit road early. We'll see if he stays out now.
Pit road is open. I see the green flag in turn number 3. Here comes Lofton, Hirschman, Tommy Buzzy, Coulter, Burt Myers. Oh, let's just say just about everybody, including Ryan Newman, who honestly did not take his fresh rubber earlier in that pit stop, and that's why he's coming down pit road right now.
And as we look right now at Big Money Matt Hirschman in the pit. Now we're looking at Carson Lofton, the leader, getting that fresh rubber on the back right corner. You see it coming off right now. We'll see if Carson Lofton can hold on to the lead here. 22 laps to go around Hickory Motor Speedway. All these tires have been used up, but now fresh set of rubber. This is like a whole new race, Bob.
Yeah, Lofton, that team. By the way, Brian Lofton not with us. That Shady Grady Racing team had some difficulty over the course of the last 3 races with some blown engines, so they were not able to come here to Hickory Motor Speedway today. We hope to see Brian Lofton back in action with us. Matt Hirschman has pulled off of, or is pulling off of pit road after attending to his race car.
And we see Matt Hirschman go to the back. We'll see if anything is wrong with that car as we go down pit road. Everybody hard working on their smart modified cars. 22 laps to go. Everybody has to get the car just right to finish this race.
Great perspective from our Carolina Drilling CitraSafe Grill Cleaners drone camera. Thank you to everybody for making that possible on our Flow Racing broadcast. Jimmy Blewett in the 99. You can see his team attending to that race car. Luke Baldwin. You see those cars turning before they go back onto the racetrack at turn 1, turning towards turn number 2 in the infield, and then going out onto the backstretch that way so that smart officials can get them lined up. Because remember, this is a controlled caution. You come down pit road. Of all the cars that come down pit road, you cannot lose your position.
And Carson Lofton definitely likes to hear that right now. He will start in first once again. Carson Lofton, can he hold on? Big Money Matt Hirschman is going to be hard charging down towards the end, and we know that for sure as we see a wide angle view of every car getting ready to get back on the track out here at the Hickory Motor Speedway. Carson Lofton will start in first place, followed by Matt Hirschman, and then Tommy Buzzy right after them. Joey Coulter still is in fourth in the 0-2, followed by Burt Myers in the 1 at fifth.
Let's go to our Racing Electronics race communication with Matt Hirschman. Matt leading a bunch of laps. Carson Lofton gets by you. What did you do to that race car to make it a little bit better for the long run here to the finish?
Right now we just did our right rear change tire. There's really not a lot of laps left, so that's what we decided to do. I know that's not what most others did, but we'll see how it plays out. Obviously Carson's a good long run car. We were good, but he was going to be even better for the long run. So, well, like I said, it's kind of the same story as it's been all year. Really, we've been able to lead early, but not lead at the end. But let's see how this one plays out. We'll see if we can improve on what we've done before.
What have you seen out of this racetrack? Is it the same old Hickory, or might we see something different with some of these patches that they have around the racetrack here for this season?
No, it's fine. It's a lot of character, but patches are good. It's all good.
Good luck, Matt.
Thank you.
Matt Hirschman in the Smart Ford, number 60. You see all the cars pulling off of pit road right now. Smart officials getting them in line, getting ready to go green flag racing once again.
And you can hear some relief, some relief from Matt Hirschman, getting the caution to go there. He knew Carson Lofton had the better car in the long run. So now can Matt Hirschman take advantage here? Only 22 to go. Will he be able to pull ahead of Carson Lofton here?
Let's go to our racing electronics race communication with Tommy Buzzy. Tommy, having a great run here from the 15th starting spot. What do you got?
Oh man, we knew we had a great car in practice. It was driving really good, especially long run. Looking forward to these last 20. As long as this thing fires off, we got a real shot at it. We're gonna give them all we got.
Did you make any changes to that race car? Just take on rubber. Where does that car need to be better?
We're starting to get a little loose in and off, so just more right rear grip, I like most of them are doing. As long as we got that, don't make it too tight, it's gonna be good.
Good luck, Tommy.
Thank you. Appreciate everything you guys do. Enjoy the rest of this race here.
Tommy Buzzy currently in the 3rd spot.
And we definitely saw Tommy Buzzy on the track. He is definitely telling the truth about being loose out there. Of course, we saw him almost completely lose it coming out of turn 4 not too long ago in that number 25 machine, Mark III Financial, on the back bumper. And we saw the choose cone a second ago. Carson Lofton took the inside, Matt Hirschman on the outside, right behind Carson Lofton. Joey Coulter, and then rounding out the top 4, second row outside will be Tommy Buzzy.
So still plenty of time in this one for somebody to make a charge, especially after getting that right rear tire, that ever important right rear tire to get more grip around this racetrack.
And it is the most important right now. We saw over the day these tires just got completely grinded up all day long. So these teams are definitely a sigh of relief now that they got that new tire on the car.
1 to go until we go back racing. I believe that's Kevin Piercy up in the flag stand. Jeff Bunton, unfortunately, because of a go-kart wreck, has a cast on his flag hand, so he can't flag the race. So thank you to stepping in and helping us out here. But Jeff Bunton, hopefully we'll see him back. We were going to actually just kind of like weld or put some zip ties around his wrist and tie the flags to it.
We definitely hope Jeff Bunton is okay after that incident here. Saw him out here today, smiles as always.
All right, down to business. Still 22 laps in this one. Lofton fires and gets the big jump on the restart.
And the beautiful jump from Carson Lofton there. Look back in third, the battle for third. Joey Coulter holding off Tommy Buzzy on the outside.
Yeah, good battle there between Coulter, who wants that first win of the year. Tommy Buzzy wants his first win of his career in the Smart Modifieds. Right now it's those two up front, but the battle's right behind that for third. Here comes Hirschman. He looks to the inside, knows he might just have one shot. Let's widen up a little bit and see the top 4 or 5 cars here. Look at those battles. We don't know where to keep our eyes, but Buzzy on the outside. You see the sparks flying as these cars bottom out in turn number 1.
In action all around the race. So we look back in the field a little bit. Luke Baldwin on the outside of Burt Myers now. Burt Myers looking to the inside. And we're going to go back to the front. Carson Lofton out there.
You see Ryan Newman there, but we got a good battle for third brewing as well. Coulter, able to get by. Coulter in third, Buzzy back to fourth. A little bit of rock'em sock'em robots between Burt Myers and Tommy Buzzy in the 25.
And Burt looking to the inside of Buzzy. Get Buzzy. We're looking to the outside of Coulter. So now he pulls back up to the outside. Coulter has to back off just a little bit. Burt Myers looks to take advantage coming out of 4.
Buzzy's trapped on the tough way around here. With these fresh tires, you can go on the bottom here at Hickory. When they get worn out, sometimes the top side a little bit better runs up there. So it's Lofton, Hirschman, Coulter, Myers, and Buzzy for now, the top 5. Here comes Jake Crum battling with Tommy Buzzy for the 5th spot. Buzzy having some difficulty in the 25 right now.
And Buzzy holding up some guys behind him as well. We see Luke Baldwin right there. Can Jake Crum get the run off of turn 4? It looks like he will and take that 5th position.
Here comes Burt Myers. Burt Myers on the outside of Joey Coulter. The 1 is fast late in the race here at Hickory. Burt Myers, who has not won yet this year, trying to march his way up through the field.
And you know Burt Myers just itching for his first win this year. It's come so close many times. This looking to the outside of Coulter now, coming to the backstretch.
Myers up to third. Now second goes Burt Myers with a slide job, basically, on the 60 of Matt Hirschman.
What an amazing move by Burt Myers. They got 2-for-1 path. Is now going to start working on Carson Lofton for first.
You know Burt Myers wants a victory in the Smart Modified Tour before the NASCAR Modified action starts at Bowman Gray Stadium. Could he get it done here tonight like he did several years ago in tour type modified competition.
But not so fast. Burt Myers. Matt Hirschman's on his back bumper. Further has to back off. On the back stretch now, going out of turn 4, right on that back bumper of Burt Myers again.
Jake Crum charging hard now. And remember, Jake Crum and Matt Hirschman get side by side. Crum was not happy with Matt Hirschman at South Boston. And we know Jake Crum is like an elephant. He never forgets. Hard charging race car driver and aggressive at that. And now he nut fenders. He's got a chrome horn on the front of that race car.
And we've seen Crum use that outside, try to get to the outside of Joey Coulter there. Had to back off ever so slightly. It's got to get back just a second to go. So look back up to the battle for second. Matt Hirschman and Burt Myers.
Good battles all over the racetrack. Let's go a little bit further back to Elgin's camera. Wow, wild ride there. Jimmy Blewett and Luke Baldwin getting into it.
And Luke Baldwin got just tapped a little bit there. Blewett had to back off. Now he's going to work on Ryan Newman back in the back.
Yeah, Blewett and Baldwin got into it a little bit. Both of them sideways on 2 consecutive corners, and now Blewett loses a couple of spots. Newman in 8th, Jimmy Blewett back to 9th.
Jimmy Blewett not going anywhere. They're trying to look to the inside, coming out of 4, right to the back bumper of Ryan Newman, now going to the back stretch.
And by the way, the 25 of Tommy Buzzy back to 10th after restarting in the top 4.
Yeah, not the end that Tommy Buzzy wanted. Still 6 laps to go, but running up in the top 3, unfortunate to fall all the way back to 10th.
This time by, it's 5 circuits to go. Carson Lofton trying to hold off Burt Myers, the kid and the veteran of Southern Modified Racing. Some of the best in the business right here, and Myers is there trying to stake his claim at Pace-O-Matic Victory Lane.
And the ace is coming right after the 16-year-old Carson Lofton. 4 laps to go now. We'll see what he can do. He's looking to the inside, been saving his car the whole day. Burt Myers looking the fastest on the racetrack right now.
Hirschman lurking back in 3rd, Coulter in 4th. But Burt Myers has not been able to muster up enough strength. Now he does. Myers got to the back bumper almost. Myers charging hard. Forget about tires right now. Burt Myers, Carson Lofton going at it with 2 laps to go.
And what does Burt Myers have in the back? He's going to start looking to the outside of Carson Lofton now. Can the kid hold on for 2 more laps? But here comes the ace into turn 3.
Myers slides it to the inside of Carson Lofton. Lofton fighting strong on the outside. Lofton still has the lead as the white flag comes out. 1 more shot for Burt Myers. He's going to give it all he's got down in turns 3 and 4. But it might not be enough. Carson Lofton on the bottom and to the checkers for the 4th time this year for Carson Lofton.
And what a race once again for Carson Lofton. 4th win of the season. He has just taken the Smart Modified Tour by storm this year, holding off the ace at the very end. Burt Myers gave it all he had coming up turns 3 and 4, had to back off coming to the white flag, and Carson Lofton has won once again in the Smart Modified Tour.
We'll keep it with you up here for just a few minutes. I'm going to head trackside to talk to our winner. We've talked to him a lot this year. Folks, put your hands together for 16-year-old Carson Lofton, who wins again in the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic.
And as Bob Dillner heads down to the racetrack for the post-race interview, we got to give props to Carson Lofton once again for another win here in the Smart Modified Tour. Your final lineup: Carson Lofton, of course, comes home the winner. Burt Myers comes home in 2nd. Big Money Matt Hirschman led most of the day today. He comes home in 3rd. Joey Coulter, a great rebound from last week, comes home in 4th. Rounding at the top 5, Jake Crum, a great finish for him. Top 5 for Jake the Snake Crum. And we may be hearing right now bit of confusion on the racetrack. We will get this squared away for you just in a second. Bob has came back into the booth with us here. Everybody at the racetrack confused. We're confused in the booth right now. The officials are confused. We'll see what the call is here in a second.
Okay, well, we saw the checkered flag come out, and it looks like the Pace-O-Matic Victory Lane billboard is now down there. So it looks like we are done after all. Interesting. We'll find out what happened there, but the race is officially over like we thought it was here at Hickory Motor Speedway.
You have it, the confirmation. Carson Lofton, your winner here in the Hickory 100 at the Hickory Motor Speedway for the Smart Modified Tour. Carson Lofton taking the victory lap out here at the Hickory Motor Speedway. His 4th win in Smart Modified competition this year. He's going to take it all the way around the track with that checkered flag before bringing it home to Victory Lane, where Bob Dillner will be with him for a post-race interview. Looking back at 2nd place, Burt Myers had himself a good run as well in that one machine, tying his best finish of the year in Smart Modified competition. And Matt Hirschman comes home 3rd, all lined up on the front stretch here. It's Carson Lofton will pull it into Victory Lane, a winner at the Hickory Motor Speedway.
Carson Lofton pulls into Victory Lane here at Hickory Motor Speedway. He shut off his race car, and today he's celebrating with his team for the 4th time this season. Impressive run for the kid, fending off the 3-time series champion Burt Myers to win the Hickory 100, presented by Dale Earnhardt Chevrolet. Carson Lofton's name on the winner's check in Victory Lane at Motor Speedway. Second place 1 year ago in the Hickory 100, and now he's a winner at the famed Hickory Motor Speedway. He gets a bath in Victory Lane. Well, I was going to ask you how you feel, but I know what you feel like right now. You're a little bit wet. But how's this win tonight at Hickory?
I have no words, man. This all goes to them. I got to thank Tony Carani. We had a little bit of an engine trouble in practice, and he fixed it for us. Him and his guys, I got to thank them for fixing that. You know, it's kind of saved our day. We're 18th in practice. We were really guessing our heads there. But Justin Lincoln, all these guys, they put this thing in. This is all them, man. This thing was a rocket ship tonight, and I was the one that could just drive it.
I think he had a little bit to do with it as well. Think about it. You passed Matt Hirschman for the win, okay, and you held off Burt Myers for the victory as well. Those are 2 of the best in the business. Let's talk about those battles.
Yeah, you know, I wanted to get by Hirschman there early because that track position would be so big when we took the tire. And then, you know, Burt raced me clean there at the end. I think him racing me clean. You know, I hope that was a good show for the fans.
I'm sure it was a good show, but were you surprised with Burt Myers almost a slide job to the inside of you?
Yeah, like you said, I'm sure it was a good show. You know, we're racing door to door, coming to the white. So, you know, I just can't thank him enough for keeping it classy and racing me clean there.
4 victories this season for the kid, Carson Lofton, just 17 years old. And the Dink Widenhouse B29 in Victory Lane as well. Thank you so much to Dink for being here today to honor the heritage of modified racing at Hickory Motor Speedway. Burt Myers, 2nd place in this race. Burt, you look like a dirt track racer out there here today. That was a heck of a run at the end of this one.
Yeah, I was trying to pace myself early, and I thought the guys were running a little bit too hard, but there's a fine line there about how much track position you think you could give up. And I said, if we can be top 4 when we pit, we were 5th. And I think we had the car, and we drove through the field, and I was there, man. I was under the 23, and I got right front downed on me, and the spotter even admitted, for anybody that thinks I'm complaining about it, the spotter even admitted I was there. But I don't know, I saw 99 laps on the board. I thought it was a 100-lap race, and the restarts are an issue. 50,000 caution laps. I apologize on behalf of Smart fans. I apologize. I know we ran 5,000 caution laps, and we hate it just as bad as you do. Everybody's learning. We're trying our best. The tower's trying their best. We just got to do a better job. But on our end of things, good run for us, good run for the team. Everybody worked hard. I want to thank Citrus Safe, Peanut Patch, Backyard Leisure, everybody that makes this deal happen. So it's a tough one because I thought we had this. We had the best car. But there's nothing you can do about it except remember it when it comes back around the next time.
Burt Myers knocking on the door. He'll be back in victory lane in the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic before long. Third place in this race, Matt Hirschman led a bunch of laps in this race, winds up with a podium finish. Matt, we talked to you. That finish here, what do you think about how things shook out at the end of the race?
I mean, we're just getting beat at the end. We don't have this. We're fast, but we don't have the closing speed that you need to have. And I kind of know. I pretty much know or have an idea of what they're doing to have that. It's just something that I never really did before, and I guess I gotta start doing it. So we kind of getting beat by it enough now. But like I said, we're too good, or I shouldn't say too good, but we're good up until basically that last run to the finish, 20 whatever it is, 20 laps, 30 laps, whatever it ends up being. We end up getting beat there. So you can't win if you don't if you stay home and don't try. But we just got to start figuring some things out, maybe do some things a little different than we've done before.
Matt Hirschman is a smart guy. He's going to learn this and figure out what's going on. He'll be back in victory lane before long here, the Smart Modified Tour and elsewhere among the mighty modified ranks in America.